live down the road from Buddy's barroom. I got a running tab, it's done run away. Sometimes I think I'm whistling past the graveyard. Last night I got so drunk I didn't even know my name. But the beer is cold and the music's always playing, and the jukebox is the best there is in town. Set you free at a happy hour, country songs and whiskey sours can cheer up any man who's feeling down. We say Jesus ain't an easy man to talk to. Heaven never sounded all that night, but you feel a little better singing, drinking songs together. A little 16 bars of paradise. Well, a bunch of boys come in right after midnight. They finished up late shift, so I hear. Mickey looks so tired it might fall over, but he heads straight for the jukebox and he orders him a beer. Well, his home's a wreck, he's been bouncing checks, he got bills that's piling high. They asked the good Lord for some help, he got no reply, and he said Jesus ain't an easy man to talk to, and heaven never sounded all that nice, but I feel a little better singing, drinking songs together. A little 16 bars of paradise. Make some big mistakes over a lifetime, and heaven knows there ain't no perfect man. Sometimes it's just too late for forgiveness, but everybody here knows that you're doing the best you can. Well, life is tough, you done had enough, you ain't got no cash to spend. Come on down to Buddy's bar, it's on the house, my friend. We say Jesus ain't an easy man to talk to. Heaven never sounded all that night, but to feel a little better singing, drinking songs together. A little 16 bars of paradise. Thinking places where you spend your time. Ain't no place I'd rather go. You're a funny little critter and I love you so. And I wanna take a ride and we'll bear in your mind. I come and sit down with me in a rocking chair. Coffee pot is nice and hot, we can sit in our underwear. Tell me about the dreams you had last week, swimming all around with the fish in the sea. Come sit down with me in a rocking chair. Fly up to the moon. couple days or even just an afternoon. They're looking up and we're looking down. We can wave to the people in our hometown now. Come on, baby, let's fly up to the moon. And I wanna take a ride in the wheelbarrow in your mind. Take me all around to the thinking places where you spend your time. There ain't no place I'd rather go. You're fun and little bitter and I love you so. And I wanna take a ride in the wheelbarrow in your mind.
understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up. And throughout the world today.
Uniting the races with truth. instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am JLP Peterson. Good morning. Welcome to the show. I know some of you are traveling back home from your long weekend vacation. Travel safely. It's not safe out there anymore. But I wish you well on your way back home. All right? Hope you had a good Memorial Day weekend. I don't know if you can call it good since it's about the men who died. So I don't know if you can call that good, but I hope that your Memorial Day weekend went well and you took at least a moment to reflect on the men that died in the military. Amazing. You can get involved by calling 888-7753, 773-888-77-JESSE, Jesse, Jesse. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JessieLeePeterson.com/show. JessieLeePeterson.com/show. And some of you are busy, and we're going to get some of you are busy, and today we're going to try to take as many calls as possible, all right? We're going to move it a little faster. But if you are busy running around, working out, getting ready for whatever, and you just can't sit and watch the show, of course, you know that you can podcast it later. But if you just can't sit and watch, you can listen on your iPhone or iPad live as it is happening, right? By calling the listen line on TalkStream Live at 605-615-4131. 605-615-4131. And to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Or rebuildingtheman.com. Rebuildingtheman.com. All right? And again, there are a couple lines open. You want to jump in there at 888-7753. 773-888-77-JESSE. It is Tuesday again. Believe it or not, you're starting the week out on a Tuesday. Because yesterday, most, if not all, most businesses were closed. It was a national holiday yesterday. So it is. Oh, my biblical question, I forgot. Thank you, sir. The biblical question. Are emotions necessary? Are emotions necessary? Isn't that an amazing question? Are emotions necessary? An amazing question. So it's Tuesday, and for those who might not be aware, you're new. Every Tuesday is Country and Western Tuesday. Bring back, oh, bring back my country to me. Bring back my country to
What
me.
the?
Who let the dogs out? Amazing. Amazing. Country and Western Tuesday. Have you noticed, and I know a lot of people have not noticed because they're not paying attention, and I do understand that, but some of you have noticed. Have you noticed that all of a sudden America is just not the same at all. It's just not the same at all. It's like all of a sudden, and it's been in the making for a long time, bringing it down to its knees. And I'm going to get to all of your calls here, right? Bringing it down to its knees. It's like it's been in the making for years, even when I wasn't even aware of it, that what was happening. It's amazing to me that human nature, it's their nature, is evil enough, it's so evil, and it thirsts after power and wealth and recognition and things like that, to the point that human nature will destroy everything to get what it wants. And when it gets it, it's still not satisfied, because that's not the answer, but it's amazing. So I'm amazed at that. I'm amazed at the fact that America is truly over as we know it or knew it. It's no longer home of the free and the brave. It is a socialist society, and it's real messed up. Very, very messed up. Isn't that amazing that it's truly over? I didn't know it could be over, but it's over. And it's interesting. And it's happening in a way that a lot of people are not even aware that it is happening. They think that what is happening is for the good, but yet when you look around, there's nothing good coming from it. All this equity stuff and transgender stuff and trying to make the blacks equal to everybody stuff and attack on white people stuff, and it's just nothing good is happening. I heard this story, I heard it in the news, but I believe I heard it on either the Hake Report or the American Anchor Baby, where at UCLA, here in Los Angeles, UCLA, because they are hiring or letting these quote unquote blacks into UCLA to be doctors and blah blah blah, that they don't know what they're doing. They have no clue. The doctor thing is screwed up now, because they let all these unqualified blacks and I guess Latino, they let the blacks and others in without being qualified. It's just based on their color. And now they can't, the doctor thing is out the window. You can't find a good doctor. They don't even know how to find the liver in the body because they're unqualified. And they're supposed to have gotten rid of affirmative action at UCLA, I believe, but they still secretly do it according to a report. They still secretly let them in. And everything's happening like that with the airports now, airplanes and air traffic control. And they're letting the people in simply because of their color. And my country gone to hell in a handbasket. Not the best qualified person, but the color person. Isn't that amazing? It looked like the blacks wouldn't even want that. I'm sure some don't. Not all, but most do. But you would think they wouldn't want that. According to the Anchor Baby, the dean of admission at UCLA, she is some short-haired Hispanic woman who is deliberately keeping whites out. I don't know where he get that from, but that's from he reported on that yesterday. It was interesting. ABC and what? Vder? VDare. From ABC and VDare. And now they're saying that even some of the so-called doctors that are in training there, the colored people, they're complaining if the doctors try to correct them. They're going off on the doctors for trying to correct them. This is not good, America. I saw a report over the weekend and this morning, I believe I saw it this morning, where there's this white girl that played basketball with the girls thing, and apparently she's good for a girl with a girl playing, and she's white. And we played this from how the female from The View was saying, oh, it's because she's pretty, it's because she's tall, and because she's white that she's getting all the attention, something like that. Well, apparently that's getting worse. The blacks are jealous that this girl can play basketball a little better than the rest of the girls, and so she's getting a lot of attention, not because she's white, but because she's better, and they're mad because they're saying, well, they don't treat the black player like that. Where will this all end? And how? A girl by the name of Caitlin Clark. When will it all end? And what will the end? Every day almost you hear a near plane crash or something with the planes, falling from the skies, almost hitting the ground, all kind of things. And have you noticed that the Republican Party and the Democratic Party are the same? That neither one have done anything to shut down the borders? They haven't done not one iota of a thing. That governor of Texas, he seemed to be trying to do something about it in Texas, but the Republican representatives, they haven't done nothing, zero. You better be trying to get Trump back in there, because if you leave as is, it's going to only get worse. Because the Republican representatives are no different. They have the same mindset that the Democrat representatives have, and they're not going to. They're not going to do anything. It's about money and power. They don't care about us. They don't care about the voters. The Republican representatives do not care about the voters. If it wasn't for Donald Trump, the only thing the Republican representative would be doing is having these little meetings about Joe Biden, and they're holding a press conference pretending that that's real important to us. But nothing else, everything else they're doing with the Democrats. And I personally don't think they care about Joe Biden and his son's situation either, to be honest. Neither the Republican nor the Democrats have secured the border. My country's gone. It's something else now. It's something else now. This is from Forbes. Senator Debbie Stabenow, a Democrat from Michigan, slammed Republicans for voting against the Border Act. Watch this.
I'm proud to be part of a caucus that actually likes to get things done. And we have shown over and over again that as Democrats, we know you have to work with Republicans. That's how you get things done. And that's how we have seen so many positive things happening for people.
See how she's lying? Just lying, outright lying to you. Don't care. Because she knows she's going to get it voted back in, so it's no problem. They haven't got anything done with or without the Republican. She's just outright lying. But it doesn't matter in today's America. They're going to get back in. They'll be voted in until they're 80, 90, or die. My country's gone. America is over. this bill that she's referring to is the same bill that had a provision to let 5,000 illegal aliens in a day. Isn't that amazing? They want to pass a bill that will allow 5,000 illegal aliens into our country a day. And that's almost 2 million per year. That's according to Immigration Council. If ever we needed you, Lord, we need you now. How are you as an individual? I know we did a report yesterday when they said that more people are smoking marijuana daily now than drinking. Marijuana is not going to be enough to save the pain or stop the pain from trying to endure the things to come in this country. It can't get better. It can only get worse. There's nothing about the country that can get better. Not one thing. Hopefully you wake up and vote in Donald Trump, and maybe he can make like jobs back, bring them back, and lower your taxes and all things like that. But you still got all this other stuff. How will you handle that in your state of fear? I can't believe this is happening to America. It's mind-blowing. Crime everywhere. No problem. No police. They'd rather not have police. In LA, it's so bad on the buses and the little railroad thing, train thing they call underground, whatever the type of system we got now. The crime is so bad, it reminds me of New York. And instead of putting police back out there, they are putting individual citizens out there with yellow jackets on, and so they can look at the crime happen, because that's all they're going to do. They can't stop it. And now those citizens look like, I may be wrong, they may have formed a union or trying to form, I may be wrong about that, but they're asking for more money. They want more money. They can't do anything about what they see happening out there on the buses and railroad or whatever, the train tracks. I don't know what you call it, the subway system. They can't do anything about it, but look at it happen, and then I guess report it to somebody. But they want more money now for doing nothing. Anything but putting back the police, bring back the cops. May God have mercy on America. America is something else now. It's not America anymore. Amazing. Let me, 888-775-3773. Amanda is a first-time call out of Houston, Texas. Amanda, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hello, Jesse. How are you doing?
All is well, Amanda.
Oh, good. I'm sorry I didn't catch your show yesterday, but I was catching up on it this morning, and I was listening to your points you were making about the marijuana usage.
Yes.
Yes, I do agree with you. I do agree with you on the fact that it is going to cripple a lot of people's brains. I've seen people that's overused marijuana and how they act, but also my husband got into a bad accident several years back, and all the doctors wanted to do was put him on pain medicine. And that also, that has some side effects as well.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until he actually put down the pain medicine and the pain pills and started smoking, a joint here and there, that he started feeling better, and he would get up and, motivate himself to do something. What's your perspective on that?
I don't know. I know several people who are doing that now. They're using marijuana, and they say it's good for pain. But I also know people who have gone to a doctor and got a false prescription, pretend that they had pain, and they only did it so they could get free marijuana. I want to ask though, so how does he smoke it all day?
No. Only whenever he has severe pain.
I see.
Yes. See, what happened? He rode an ATV. It actually went off a cliff, and so he broke his back, and he had to have a plate put in his face, and
Amazing.
It was a lot of damage.
Yeah.
And he had to learn how to walk again and everything like that. So, but yeah, all the doctors wanted to do was just zombie him out on pain medicine.
And you're right about that. The doctors will give you medication for years without even seeing you again. You just go over to the drugstore and get it, and they don't know if it's helping you or not.
Exactly, and you get addicted to it.
Yeah,
and then it leads to other things. So he said, no, I don't want to feel this way. I want to get up. I want to move around. I want to get my life back. And, so he did. He put the pain medicine away, and he did. He would smoke some marijuana here and there. And it did motivate him to, move around more.
Is it getting rid of the pain?
Yes. Yes, it does.
So he's starting to heal from the pain where he won't need the marijuana after a while?
Yes.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm. Every once in a while, we live in Texas, so humidity's bad here and things like that. So every once in a while when he does feel a lot of pain, he will smoke marijuana. But it's not like he smokes it all day, every day. He's playing video games, zombieing out on the couch or anything,
Oh, okay.
But,
well, he have to make that decision as an individual for himself. I'm not a doctor, so I can't say yes or no to it. But I would advise him to be careful that he doesn't become addicted to that, because the more you smoke it, the more unconscious you go, and you find yourself not dealing with the issues of life. You're not conscious, and that's not good either.
Oh, yeah. And you can get that way with anything, with alcohol.
Anything. That's right.
Yeah, anything. Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about him smoking it?
Me personally, I don't smoke it. I can't even stand the smell of it.
I mean, how you feel about your husband doing it?
If it helps him, he provides for the family. He does everything he's supposed to do. And if it helps him, do what he has to do, then I'm fine with it. If it starts affecting us in any way, I would deal with that. We'd have a discussion about it, but it hasn't. It hasn't affected us in any way.
Right on. Well, I wish him well with it. Again, I'm not a doctor. He's going to have to decide how to deal with this kind of stuff. I don't know. Oh,
yeah. Yeah, I think that sometimes people search for, it's okay to search for an alternative. Like I said, these doctors, like you were saying earlier, these doctors, but, they'll throw anything at you.
They really will. It's hard to find. I remember the good old days when you found a doctor, it was a good doctor. And he would examine you, he would tell you what was going on. He was your doctor. But now, according to all the reports I've been getting from different people, they just go into the doctor's office, and the doctor take a blood test, they ask you this, they give you medication, they send you home. And I'll see you in a year, they say, or 6 months. But they repeat the same thing, and they never really take the people off the medication. They never really solve the problem, the pain problem of the person. And as a matter of fact, they give you so much medication that it creates another problem, like liver problem, some other kind of problem, because you've been taking, now you're on dialysis because you've been taking so much medication.
Absolutely. I know. They won't even look up at you. You go to the doctor nowadays, they won't even look up at you and listen to you explain your problems.
Right.
I had a doctor 3 months ago tell me I had female cancer, and I didn't even have female cancer.
Wow.
And so, Yeah, we went through all of that, and I had to go to an oncologist, and all of that is so expensive to be misdiagnosed, and
That's amazing.
You're going to tell me I have cancer. Hearing the word cancer is a very scary thing,
Yeah.
So you're going to tell me that I have female cancer. I go to oncologists, I go to specialists, and turns out I don't have female cancer. And it was just the stress of it all. So, yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. They don't listen to what you have to say. They don't listen to anything.
This is
These
why...
doctors don't even have compassion anymore.
No, it's all about the money now. They don't care.
That's all it's about.
But this is why the one thing I realized that has happened is that the American people, the people have turned their lives over to experts and people with degrees and this and that, and they tell you how to raise your children and everything, and it's like people don't think for themselves at all anymore. It's like they're totally turned their lives over to other people who have no clue as to what they're talking about either, and so because they're not thinking and doing for themselves, it's just all screwed up now.
I know. And everything these days is about mental illness and mental this and mental that. And I'm a child of the 80s. We didn't go to the doctor unless we were sick.
Yes.
Unless we were basically dying.
Yeah.
And so all of this nowadays with these diagnoses, I don't understand any of it. And I'm not a doctor. Like you said, I'm not a doctor either. But, I think some of it is just kind of far-fetched out there. I tell my daughter, they try to teach her that in school, mental illness.
She's still there for some reason. What happened there? Hold on, Amanda. Oh, let me see. It kind of went back to that on its own. Amanda, go ahead. I'm sorry. See, look.
That's what I don't understand, all the mental illness stuff that's going on that they're trying to cram down our throats nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a mess. So I think that the beginning of freedom again for most people is that they got to take back control of their own lives.
I do too.
And stop trusting these so-called experts. They have no clue as to what they're talking about. So I think that's the beginning. Individual got to start thinking and doing for themselves. I remember, long story short, back in when the so-called civil rights movement came about. And prior to that, the blacks were doing very well. Civil rights movement came along. The blacks gave over their lives to the so-called civil rights leaders, and they turned them over to the government, and it's just not been the same. They stopped doing for themselves, and things just got worse. We got to do for ourselves, not someone else.
Yes, we do.
Amanda, thank you. I wish you well. I wish your husband well.
Thank you so much, Jesse. I really enjoy your show.
Thank you very much. Amazing. 888-77-JESSE. Back in a moment. I have books that are amazing. I highly recommend you get them. 7 Guaranteed Steps to Spiritual, Family, and Financial Success Guide. Even if you're not starting a business, but you have a job, or you're on welfare, it can help you if you do. Be doers of the word, all right? From rage to responsibility. From rage. That's what I write about in the first chapter, especially how I overcame. Scam. How the black leadership exploits black Americans. They are using them, and blacks are too willing to be used. And then my last book, The Antidote, Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood. They are all amazing books, and they are helpful. Go to rebuildingtheman.com if you want an autographed copy, or call 800-411-2663.
She thinks I'm a little lazy. I think she's a little crazy. We like summer and we like spring, watching wrestling in the ring. She ain't shy, she speaks her mind, tough as nails and smooth as wine. We burn hot as kerosene, baby, we got our own thing.
Okay, welcome
She
back.
ain't scared and I ain't
888-775-3773 if you want to jump in there. There is the Hake Report coming up at 9 a.m. this morning. The Hake, H-A-K-E report.com from 9 to 11. And then after the Hake Report, Joel Friday TV. You be like, Joel Friday TV at 11 a.m. Pacific time. 11 a.m. Pacific time, and then the American Anchor Baby. Energy given to him by God. And a quick reminder, support us on social media. Social media, we're on rumble.com. You got to know how to rumble. Cozy.tv/JLP, rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson, and cozy.tv/JLP. Amazing. And JLP Talk on X, and Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. All right? Like, follow, ring the bell. Y'all know what to do. Amazing. What I want to do is I want to get and see if we can catch up with some of the super chats that we didn't get to yesterday. Super chat, and then back to the call.
Super chats.
Super.
Over
How
on.
was your holiday?
It was nice.
It was?
Yeah, it was fun. Caught a little bit of sunshine. Went swimming. And
You went swimming?
Of course.
Like with a heated pool?
No, it was actually nice and cold.
So was it hot enough yesterday to swim?
Yeah, of course.
Really?
It's the,
White people mess. I bet you it wasn't hot enough for blacks to go swimming.
Yeah, I did not see any blacks.
You ain't gonna see it. It was too cold.
It was.
You gotta be hot to get in the pool.
In the sunshine, it's plenty warm. Once in the shade, it's plenty cool. It's the perfect time. Spring.
Whatever.
Stan69 with a diamond yesterday says, Jews reject Jesus Christ, so why protect them? Emoji, monocle emoji.
What does that mean when people say that kind of stuff? I don't understand it. And why is that important to them?
I know, huh? Oh, that's a question.
Right.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. I mean, I understand they're saying, they reject Jesus. I understand the statement, but I don't understand the relevance of...
I don't even understand the statement, Jews reject Jesus. That doesn't even make sense. Because the people who are saying that, they're saying it because they are rejecting Jesus too.
Right.
Because every time you hate your fellow man, you put Jesus back on the cross.
Indeed.
I don't get that. I mean, I may get it because I understand human nature and that human nature is evil.
True.
The fruits of the human nature is that of the world is evil, and it's not the fruits of the spirit. So I understand that, but I just don't get what that's supposed to mean. The average Christian reject Jesus.
Indeed.
The atheists reject Jesus.
But they value lip service. They think, the Muslims are better than the Jews because the Muslims at least respect Jesus.
No, they
and
don't.
then they claim that they accept Jesus as the Lord and Savior, but then they reject the love your enemy and stuff like that.
They don't love the Jews.
Some of them claim they do.
No, they don't. They would be saying dumb things like the Jews rejected Jesus. And
Yeah.
those were the days. They was always around at the time.
But thank you, Stan69, for your diamond.
Yeah, thank you, Stan. I just want to understand that. And just, I hear it now a little bit more often than I used to hear it at one time. And I just want to understand what it's supposed to mean when you say it.
Yeah, I used to only hear it from blacks
Yeah.
when I was a kid.
Yeah, I heard it from the Louis
Rarely,
Farrakhan
too.
people.
Yeah. Seeker bought a coffee.
Oh, thank you, Stan, Sister Nan.
Yeah. You must be merciful, my friend, to obtain the same. So if you break the chain, don't pass the blame, says Seeker with his coffee.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Bryce from Seattle says, is the voice in your head from speaking consciously the same as the thoughts in your head that come and go, which are the devil?
Are the voices in your head from speaking consciously?
The same as the thoughts in your head that come and go, which are the devil.
Are the voices in your head from speaking consciously? I'm trying to take my time with this because I don't know what voices would be in your head when you're speaking consciously. Will you make that a little clearer for me? It sounds like it's an interesting question I do want to respond to. What do you think about that?
I don't know what he means by the voice in your head
Me
from
either.
speaking consciously. I don't
Right.
understand that phrase.
Yeah, I don't quite understand it. Make it a little clearer for me, all right? Thank you.
Thank you, Bryce. Jaime from Minnesota, 5 coffees.
Thank you.
I was talking to church friends, and one of them mentioned I should be careful with my criticisms of the Christian church because I could be blaspheming the Holy Spirit. I questioned him on what he thought he meant, but he couldn't give me an answer. Could you explain what blaspheming the Holy Spirit would look like in practice?
It's the preachers that are teaching the Bible. They're wearing nice suits and fine robes and big churches, and they're teaching the Bible. They're blasphemers because they never point you back to the Father. They only use you for their own ego cover-up so that you don't know that they don't know. Amazing. Thank you.
Also on Buy Me a Coffee, Hannes, 5 coffees. Happy belated birthday, Jesse. Party smiley emoji. I wish you well wherever you are, Sean. Salute. Biblical question.
Thank you for the best birthday wish. It was an amazing birthday.
Nice.
We still eat sweets.
Indeed.
What the?
I've been eating so much sweet in all my bone days. But thank you.
Even Joel is contributing to them. What the heck?
I know.
What is this world coming to?
Things just ain't the same. Anytime, whatever, get captured by the game. But thank you.
Are emotions necessary? Biblical question.
Did we answer her, that other person? Did they have did you finish that? About the birthday and blah, blah, blah?
Wish you well wherever you are, Sean.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, this is still Hannes' super chat.
Oh, you still on it?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Biblical question. Are emotions necessary? No, emotions are completely useless because through your last week's assignment, I can now see how the feelings follow thoughts. They never come individually. No feeling ever solved or clarified situations of confusion and indecision.
Oh, amazing. Thank you for responding to that. The biblical question, I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Someone bought 3 coffees. Jesse, amazing show. Do you think
Thank you.
God can decide for a woman with a high body count to marry someone?
What's a high body count?
A high body count is these young people talk for, have had a lot of S word out of wedlock, sex out of wedlock.
Oh, like sluts?
Yeah.
And the question is what?
If a woman has slept around with a lot of men, do you think God can decide for such a woman to marry somebody?
God can do whatever he wants. That's a good question. Believe me, God can do whatever he wants, for sure. And I would just recommend that woman that has done that, just start working on herself. Start working on herself. Overcome the anger. Take control of her life, and you'll be fine. Don't worry about getting a man or not. Seek the kingdom of God in his right way, and whatever is meant for you will happen naturally. Don't worry about it. But thank you. Amazing.
Thank you for your 3 coffees.
Yeah.
Power comes from within. 3 more coffees. British Prime Minister wants to put in place mandatory national service, even though it may just be for votes in the upcoming election. What do you think about mandatory national service at the age of 18?
Who is that?
Power comes from within.
Who want to do that?
The British Prime Minister.
I don't know what that is.
The British Prime Minister is Rishi Sunak.
No, I mean about what they want to enact.
I think that means military service. Joining the military, mandatory, at the age of 18. Kind of like what Israel makes them do.
Oh,
You have to join the military.
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about British military because I'm not over there. I don't know how bad it is, so I can't say about what they're doing. But I almost said that would be good for us if they did that for America. But because the military is so screwed up now, I mean, absolutely screwed up. It's no good. I wouldn't recommend my dog go to the military.
Indeed.
And so I don't know if it would be a good idea if they force it here. But I don't know about Britain. Britain, if they're like as good as Israel is, then that'll be fine. So I don't know. But a good question, though. Thank you.
Boulevard bought 5 coffees with no message. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hannah's another coffee responding, sorry for my unclarity
Yeah.
regarding this job situation. Yes, I have a job. Does God give you a job or career or calling, whatever? It can be hard. I know it's just thoughts, and I suppose I'm questioning when will it end? When will I know what my purpose is? I ask while knowing it's just thoughts, but I can't help but ask anyway. Arg! Distraught emoji, laughing face with sweat, and laughing face with tears.
So they want to know when will they know what their purpose is?
Yeah.
When you stop looking for it. Really. When you stop asking and when you stop looking, that's when you will know. And that's the truth. Amazing. Thank you.
Donnie Gro's idea. God is so good to allow another Memorial Day to come. This is from yesterday. Be blessed and stay free. XOXO. Kiss, hug.
Thank you. It was a nice day of relaxation. Thank you.
Prince Vibes yesterday with a coffee. HBD, happy birthday to my husband. I'm blessed to stay home for our kids.
I
He
know.
leaves with patience. He steps in when I get emotional. He gets the ship right with logic, and thanks to waking up, I see that and so much more. I wish him all the best always. Thanks, JLP.
Right on. Stay with it. Stay with it. Stay with it. It's amazing. You got to travel this journey if you want to be free. There's no way out. Isn't that amazing? Thank you.
Cole the Gangsta donated on Cash App, Bond JLP on Cash App, saying, you're so right and keep it up.
Thank you. And thank you all so much for the financial support, too, because we got a lot of more work to do, got more hiring to do, and a lot of stuff to do. Thank you.
Nice. Shimshon Hoffman bought 3 coffees. Hey, Jesse, from Tiberias, from the Sea of Galilee. Send us...
Wow, that sounds so exciting.
Yeah, send us Hake to assist.
Say hello to Tiberias for me.
Well, he wants me to go say hello because he says, send us Hake to assist in the war in Gaza and in the north. He looks fit to be an excellent combat soldier. Crazy face emoji.
It is done. Thank you.
Wow.
You ready to go to war?
I get no say.
Uh-uh.
Nice.
You ready to go to war?
Yeah, I just have to strengthen my feeble arms and weak knees.
Oh, God. Okay.
John Diamond donated, or he said on X, in response to the biblical question.
Are emotions necessary?
They are necessary to determine what is good or evil. Believe it or not, depends on whether something produces an effect of happiness. Not sure this is an absolute condition, definitely common. For example, taking someone's property without their permission.
Thank you for responding to the biblical question. Very interesting. And I'll put my little 2 cents on Sunday if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise. Thank you.
8 coffees from Soul Conscious. Jesse, I used to think interracial dating was completely fine before forgiving my mother, but I don't think so anymore. Seems abnormal. Do you think interracial dating is ever normal?
No.
Nice. Thank
It's
you.
neither normal nor abnormal. It's because of the cause. And the reason for it is that people who date or get married interracially, they're trying to get away, the men and the women are trying to get away from the spirit of their mothers, and they end up with the same spirit because it's not about color. Isn't that amazing? But if they didn't have that anger toward their mothers, they will only be attracted to whatever race they're from. That's deep. Thank you. Amazing.
Coffee from Ravender. There is a left, there is a right. Which side is the stomach on? I'm not sure. I thought it was in the middle.
I thought already here. It feel like that's where the food lands.
Actually, maybe I'm pointing at my guts. Where is this? Is the stomach up here?
I don't know. Oh, we said at the same time.
Jinx.
I don't know. Ask Joel Friday when he come on at 11. He would know.
You think so? Donnie Girl's idea says, she asks, is Graceland really going into foreclosure? This is a Rumble rant this morning.
That's Graceland down in Tennessee?
Yeah.
I heard something like that, but then I heard there was so I don't know for sure, but I heard, according to some report, there's an effort to prevent it from happening. So I don't know.
Last I heard, which was less than a week ago, the foreclosure sale, this is reported the 22nd. It's the 28th today of May. Foreclosure sale ends as company apparently withdraws its claims. So the company, they owed money to this company, supposedly, that owned it.
Uh-huh.
And so it was going into foreclosure, but then a judge put a temporary injunction, and the company withdrew.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
stop there, Hake.
Okay.
And we'll pick up on this. I will get you some callers, and we will pick up on this. Amazing. Thank you all. That's deep. Let me go to Richard, a first-time call out of Florida. Richard, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me well?
Yeah, all is well.
Okay, I just wanted to make a profound statement. Maybe it'll be profound. But first, I'm going to say not all, not all, not all.
Not all, but most.
I noticed the problem about the Muslims, the Christians, and the Jews. They all forget that they came from the same father, Abraham. And what I've noticed about the Jews, when I ask them, where did Jews come from? They tell me a Jewish vagina. When I look to the Muslims and I say, obviously they think they come from the mother, they need to have 3 wives for their children. So I think there's a spirit problem. And in Israel, the Muslims and the Jews are fighting over an emotional spirit of the female, and they're in an emotional hell. And only the ones that accept Jesus Christ are with the Father and have the spirit of the Father and could use logic and say, hey, why don't we unite with each other and make ourselves powerful and rich, and our children will grow up well together. But since they don't accept that they're all from Abraham, they will continue this fight. Thank you, sir. Have a blessed day. God bless you, and God bless the crew.
Thank you. Richard, let me ask, when you say accept Jesus Christ, what does that mean?
They don't want to accept him in their heart.
And how do you accept Jesus Christ in your heart?
You know that you have the loving kindness of God in your heart already, and you must accept that only loving kindness connects you to him through the love in your heart.
But how do you do that?
Well, first you have to come still and know that you're only present with him when you are nothing. And when you're completely nothing, then you're only with him, because you are nothing. You are
and so
nothing.
which one should the people, the Jews, Muslim, and Christian, think about? Being from God or being from Abraham? Coming from God or coming from Abraham?
We should think about coming from God, because God created Abraham.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Richard. Amazing. I appreciate it. Okay. 888-7753-773. Let me go to Jacinda, first time caller out of Virginia. There's a line open. Jacinda, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Oh, thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yes. Well, first of all, I just want to say how much I enjoy your show, your program. I look forward to listening in and joining everyone.
Thank you.
I even purchased your book a long time ago, Scam. How the Black Leadership Exploits Black America.
Amazing.
And that was the first. Yes. So I'm like one of the first-time buyers. So listen, basically, I just wanted to say real quick, see if you could just speak some inspiration to me, because, okay, I'm a federal worker, and I've got about 33 years under my belt. And so basically, I could have retired this year, but I'm going to stick it out for another year. And I enjoy what I do, mind you. And it's just that I'm feeling, I guess I'm have found myself in a phase where, I'm 60 years old. Lots of things are different now. I'm not with it with the wokeism and all of the behavior that I see, things that's going on in the world. And also, I've been in a relationship for a good amount of years, but we have found ourselves separating from one another. So basically, I am in a single status right there. And so I wanted to know if you could speak some hope to me, like maybe give me some ideas about what I can think about as I enter into the next phase of my life. Is it possible to maybe find and have a friendship with a person of the opposite sex without trying to, have trust issues and problems and things like that? And so I would appreciate if you could share some words for me.
So you want to know, you're 60 years old, you say?
Yes, sir.
And so you want to know if you can get involved with a guy and be with him without having trust issues and things like that?
Well, yeah, that's one of them. Let me clarify to say that first of all, it's hard to find somebody, and I'm thinking, I used to go to church regularly. I was raised in a church, where we had to go. And so now I don't go so much, but I'm still hopeful that I may find, some guys with a guy that has the same values that I have.
And what happened with you and the guy that you were dating? You guys were dating for a while?
Yes, we dated for a while.
How long?
It got, at least 25 years.
What the?
Yeah, but what the thing about that
Why you ain't marrying that one?
Well, because we drifted apart. I'm glad you asked because...
Can you hold for me?
Yes.
Let me take a quick break, all right?
Okay, thank you.
888-7753-773. 2 more hours to go. Hake is coming in with the hate news. Not the fake news, but the Hake news. The guy with the good hair. I'll be back in a moment. 888-7753-773. Back in a moment. I recommend you get a copy of my book, From Rage to Responsibility. I write about how the spirit of anger was taken away from me 29 years ago. I forgave my mother who tried to turn me away from my father, and I returned to my father, and through him, my father on earth, and through him, I was able to return to God. No man or woman can return to God unless you go through the Son. And men are sons of God. There may be weak, pathetic examples of it, but it's the spiritual order of life. God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, and woman over children. So get From Rage to Responsibility. I write about that. Go to my website, rebuildingtheman.com for an autographed copy, or call 800-411-BOND. And donate to my nonprofit, Bond, the Brotherhood Organization of a New Destiny. We are rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man.
A whole lot of mess going on in the world. There was a crazy strike on the Rafah camp, and Israel saying, "Oh, our bad, not my bad." This is the end of hour one of the JLP Peterson Show, Country and Western, Tuesday, May 28th, AD 2024. There is one line open. You can call in right now during Hake News, not fake news, 888-77-JESSE. JESSE, 1-888-775-3773. Stay tuned for hour two. JLP will be right back to your calls, more stories and super chats. But Commie Nonsense Network, CNN reports Hollywood is suffering. The summer movie season historically draws the largest theater audiences of the year because the kids are out of school. However, the 2024 box office is seeing slumping sales following months-long production delays. and strikes that brought Hollywood to a standstill. That's good. It could be good. What a mess. Anyway, Israel's strike on a Rafah camp prompting globo-homo outrage. CNN reports, the far-left female-run outlet, The Skim, actually reports, both of them report. Today, Israel reportedly pressed on with their offensive in Rafah after Sunday, they had a deadly airstrike that drew immediate condemnation from so-called world leaders, including Germany's Vice Chancellor and French President Emmanuel Macron. At least 45 people were killed. 45 killed in this strike, so said the Gaza Health Ministry. The Israeli military said they opened an investigation into the deaths of civilians and that 2 Hamas officials were killed in the incident. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin-based Bibi Netanyahu, he called the strike a, quote, tragic mistake, unquote. So he didn't mean to. The weekend strike marked one of the deadliest events in Rafah since Israel began their invasion earlier this month. Crooked Joe Biden administration reportedly told Netanyahu to do more to protect Palestinian civilians. The outcry comes just days after the evil UN's top court ordered Israel to halt their military offensive in Rafah, and it underscores the challenges in enforcing the court's directive. It's very challenging because the UN has no real power unless America is on board. The incident is also likely to complicate further the ceasefire negotiations expected to resume this week. So what a mess, huh? What a mess. It's just weeks after Crooked Joe said that he would halt shipments of American weapons in Israel if they invade Rafah. Israeli bombings in other areas of Gaza killed at least 6 others today, I think. So said a Palestinian news agency. What a mess. So they're actively engaging. The black on the inside White House is actively engaging with officials in Israel to determine what precisely happened. Persecution, meanwhile, of our greatest president. Our greatest. The real one is Crooked Joe Biden, but our greatest president is real Donald Trump. His unprecedented so-called criminal hush money, which is really extortion payment trial. He was extorted. He's the victim of extortion. He's expected to be in the hands of jurors this week. Crooked jurors, maybe. We'll see. The closing arguments set to begin today will allow prosecutors to explain to the 12 jurors how each witness they called and piece of evidence they presented bolsters their case and the guilty verdict on 34 felony counts of falsifying business records. After Trump's attorneys also present their closing arguments, the judge presiding over the case, so-called judge, will instruct the jury as to the charges and must blah, 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 that they must consider against our greatest president. After that, jurors will begin their deliberations. If convicted, the judge could sentence Trump to probation or a sentence of up to 4 years on each count in state prison with a maximum of 20 years. What a mess, huh? Severe storms blowing through. Around 47 million people at risk for severe weather today. Watch out. Powerful storms, central, southern, and eastern United States. Thunderstorms, tornadoes, responsible for at least 23 deaths over the holiday weekend, Memorial Day weekend, including 4 children. Kentucky, Arkansas, Texas, Oklahoma, Alabama. What a mess. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 2.
Got to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the second hour of the show already. It's amazing. You can get involved by call. And there is a line open if someone want to take it real fast. 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. Jesse. Jesse. And my biblical question for this week is a doozy. My biblical question, are emotions necessary? Are emotions necessary? It was just my imagination. Are they necessary? An amazing question. If you're out and about, you can listen to the show live on your phone while you're doing what you're doing, no matter what you are doing and where you are in the world. We are heard around the world by everybody and their mama by calling the listen line on your iPhone or iPad at 605-615-4131. 605-615-4131. Isn't that amazing? And to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com. Buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Or Bond JLP on Cash App. Bond JLP on Cash App. Amazing. It's Tuesday. It's the second hour of Tuesday. It is Country and Western Tuesday. Bring back, oh, bring back my country to me. Bring back my country to me. What the? Who let the dogs out? Amazing. Amazing. 888-7753-773. Let me go back to Jacinda. And she's the first time call out of Virginia. She is going to retire, plan on retiring from her job next year. The Lord is willing and the creek don't rise. One more year. And never been married, but dated for a while. And now she's wondering about, what about a husband? Jacinda.
Yes, Reverend.
And so you said you dated, you can call me Jesse. You said,
okay, Jesse.
You said you dated some guy for 20 years?
Yes, I need to actually put things in context a little bit. Actually, I was married.
25 years?
Okay. Let's say a good 25 years.
Okay.
But yes. And so basically, we got together because he was a familiar person that I actually went to middle school with. And so, later in life, we found ourselves and reunited through friends. And, I was excited about that. But what I didn't take notice of is that we had different backgrounds, like educational pursuits and pursuits in employment. So even though I did get with him and we, kind of lived together, so to speak, and, try to live.
Did you live together?
Yes, we did.
So you didn't kind of live together. You lived together.
Yes, we did. Yes, sir.
But you never got married.
No, we did not.
Why not?
But because I saw some red flags. I could see and come to the conclusion already that we did not have a really good foundation as far as personal pursuits for education or for employment. But me, being who I am, I thought, I looked at his potential, and basically, from a friendship standpoint, I thought maybe I could help him, but I just found out that his priorities were not right, and so we're still friends, and and we had, again, with trust issues. I said that earlier, and that what I mean by that is that, yeah, I found that he was seeing other people or not really closing, past relationships. So that was a problem. And so I, in the meantime, continued to work in my job. So I was in a career. And so he came back let's say about 10 years ago. He had asked to come back and stay with me because,
he moved into your place?
Yes, he did.
Was he living in your place all that time for 25 years?
Yes.
Amazing.
Actually, I will. Yes.
No, go ahead. Actually, what?
I was going to say that I had made somewhat of a critical mistake, and I don't know if other people in the group had, or any woman had really experienced what I had gone through. So basically, as we progressed into our relationship, we lived in an apartment, and so we made another big step, and that is to purchase a house. And mind you, all of the buying power, all of the credit score, and the down payment was on me. And I just feel so foolish that I made that big step and put him on the deed of the house. And then as the years rolled by and when it came time to make the payments, he hardly made any payments at all. So I had all of that burden on me.
Was he black?
Yes.
What
yes.
the? And are you black?
Yep.
Oh, what the?
So I just wanted to say, fast forward to where I am now, present day. He was in 3 different relationships, and I actually, was looking around for support, if you will, emotional support.
Meaning what? Meaning what?
Meaning that trying to make sense of my life, but actually going on, looking for romance myself,
So you were looking for romance with another guy too, or another guy?
Yeah, here and there.
And
nothing,
did you find it with other guys at times?
Not really. It was disappointing as well because, they were cads in a way, of speaking. So I moved on. But I think the real point I want to make, Jesse, is that here I am, 60 years old.
Yeah.
The house, I can write a check and pay off my house today if I want to. He came back asking to be a roommate because, he loved the choices he made and things like that. And I accepted it. And so now...
You let him back in?
Yeah.
Is he there now?
He basically stays in a room here,
What
and,
the? And why did you let him back in? Well,
first of all, I felt like, I was helping somebody. I felt like I could, it was not a problem. I felt like it would be okay. And so now I'm trying to make some critical plans like, hey, maybe I might want to leave the area one day. Or, hey, I've got travel plans. I want to go and be happy and pursue things. So I just feel like, I'm single and available, but yet I have this situation. And
what situation?
I don't know. I guess maybe I just have him. I call him a guest. I call him, he's this guest in my house.
Is he working?
Yeah, he works.
And why don't you put him out?
Well, in my heart, I feel like I really, I'm aware of my rights. I'm aware of the legal procedures and things like that. But I just really feel in my heart of hearts that I would rather for him, and I told him this, I would rather for him to, hey, I don't have a date for you, but, one of these days soon, you should really think about finding another place.
Why don't you just put him out?
Because I just feel that that's just too harsh. I don't think, I think the real reason why is because he doesn't really bother me, and I think that would be too hard.
How old is he?
He's my age, 60.
And so you have a 60-year-old man in your home who you dated for 25 years, and you broke up, put him out, and he came back, and you still think that's okay?
Well, I think from a humanitarian viewpoint, I mean, maybe an altruistic viewpoint. No, hey,
So is your home a humanitarian location?
Is my what?
Your home is a humanitarian location?
I would say so.
Okay, I know a bunch of homeless people looking for a place to stay.
Oh, well, no, now, not from that perspective, no. I mean,
Well, why not help them? You helping him like that?
Well, because we have a history. We have a familiarity. And I would go for so much to say that, we do have a friendship. There is a pet involved. There's a little a dog. So, I found myself attached to the pet. And
why you never made babies with him?
Because, because I think for a lot of reasons, like, my career, education, I had maybe, I just didn't feel 100% sure because at that way back when I was coming out of a relationship, a short-term marriage anyway. And then my
you've been married before?
Yes, sir. That's what I tried to get that in earlier to say
okay.
that.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So I had some bumpy starts, like relocating. I lived in Houston for a minute, and then that didn't work out, so I came back this way to the D.C. area.
What a mess. So let me ask, why did you have children with your first husband?
Why did I not?
Right.
I did not. Oh, well, then that's a great question, because he was a red flag. And this was a mess, too. He's deceased, too, by the way. He was a state trooper in Houston, Humble area.
And you thought you could take care of him?
Well, I was excited. I was in love at the idea.
You thought you could take care of him?
Yes.
So he ended up living with you and you did the same thing with him that you did with the guy you with now?
No. Okay, so with that one, that was a little bit different because I was in college. I met him, and at first I was infatuated with him, but he had the potential. He had, he was independent. He had. I don't want to go. For lack of a better word,
let me just ask you this because of time. You said the guy you with now, when you first got with him and you've been with him, you thought that you could help him, right?
I thought I could help him because when I met him...
Help him in what way?
Well, I mean, to help him educationally, kind of get him back on track because he was like 3 credits shy of finishing high school, and I thought that was very profound. I just said, oh, my God. So I went to the Virginia Board of Education, and I was able to work out a plan of action to where they would accept him if he would just say, hey, all you need to do is take these 3 classes. You could take night class and take a Virginia history class and 2 math classes.
So let me ask you this because of time. What is it about you that think you can help anybody?
Well, I don't want to go so far and say that I could just help anybody, but I would have to say that.
Anybody meaning this guy and the other guy you were with, what is it about you that think you are able to help another person?
Well, maybe to just give informed, maybe offer advice, maybe share what I know. I have to say, and I want to say this, that I've made mistakes in what I've done. I wouldn't say...
What is it about you that make you think you can help another person?
By sharing information or offering advice.
And that's never helped anyone. Why do you keep doing it?
Well, I'm sorry to say that, I haven't really repetitively been doing it. I would just have to say that I've found myself in a long-term situation where, I got stuck.
Did you take this guy's name off your house?
Yes, I did.
Oh, good. So let me ask, what's your question for me?
My question for you is to ask me, what kind of hope, what could you tell me to make me feel better about the next chapter in my life, as I go forward, into retirement? I mean, mind you, I don't want to just be idle. I'm going to be doing something. I mean, and a single woman, have you spoken to any single women? There's lots of single women out here.
What's your question for me?
Tell me something good to make me feel better about being single and what I can do to be happy.
You are getting what you deserve. You've gotten what you deserve from every man you've been with, the man you're with now, and if you don't change, the next man you meet, because you are playing God. You think you're smarter. You think you know more. You think you can fix another person. You can save them, and you can't. Only God can do that. You can't even save yourself. And so you're playing God, and that's evil. You are getting what you deserve. You're on an ego trip. You need to come down and start working on you so that, and not look for another man. You're not supposed to look for a man. You're not supposed to look for anything but the kingdom of God and his right way. And he will add all unto you. Whatever meant to be, it will happen naturally without you looking for, yearning for it, or anything. And it will be perfect, whether it's with a man or without a man. But you're playing God. You're on an ego trip.
Oh, gosh. I really certainly don't want to be on an ego trip. I really
You think that you could save these men. You think that you could save other people. You think you have the advice for them, and you're playing God, and you won't see that you are. That's why you're going through what you're going through. You got to put him first. See what's right first, and righteousness would take care of you. And again, if it's meant for you to have a man, a husband, it will be added to you without you looking for it. And when it happens, you wouldn't have to work at it. The relationship will work on its own without your effort at all.
Thank you. Okay, I got it. Okay, I really appreciate it, Jesse. Thank you. I think that's
you got
to
start working on yourself. You got to overcome evil.
Right. And I'm not an evil person, by the way.
Yes, you are. Why do you say you're not an evil person?
I really wish you wouldn't. I really wish you didn't have that impression of me, because I'm not.
Why do you
evil.
say you're not? All human beings are evil. Why are you different?
I really don't know how to, because I'm not evil. I don't go around killing people.
What's good about you?
What's good about me is that I care about life. I have a great care for animal welfare. I'm a philanthropist in many respects. I do give to the homeless. I give to charities every year. I mean, from that aspect, I mean, I don't go around murdering anybody. I don't go around hitting anybody.
What's good about you, though? You haven't told me what's good about you yet.
Yeah. Well, I do believe in the Lord. I believe in God.
And why do you say you believe in God?
Why do I say that?
Yeah.
Because I'm thankful. I'm grateful that I woke up in the morning. I pray to the Lord. I believe in some of the foundations of the Bible.
You still haven't told me what's good about you.
I'm good to my neighbors.
You
I'm
told
good to
me the things you do that build your ego, which is not you, by the way, but build your ego, but you still haven't told me what's good about you.
What's good about me? I honored my grandparents who raised me. I give back to the society based on the love I received from my great-grandparents, actually, who raised me.
And who are you?
Me? I am a citizen of the universe. I I grew up in Texas. My mother's from the D.C. area. That's why I wound up back this way after her health failed. I'm
so
a
you
sister.
still haven't. Who are you? You told me the things you do, and who your mother is, but who are you?
I am an individual who believes in working hard. I have gratitude. I have care for the environment.
You're
I'm
still telling
concerned
me
about
the things you do, but you're not telling me who you are.
Oh gosh. Oh, I've never been asked that before. I am a 60-year-old. I'm a soul. I'm an old soul.
You told me your age and that you're a soul, but you're not telling me who you are.
I am a person walking this earth seeking hope, wanting to be happy.
So you're not at peace. You're still not telling me who you are.
Well, gosh, I guess this is something I'm going to have to think about.
Why
I've
have
never
you?
been asked.
I'm sorry?
Yes. I've never been asked this question before and not get it right.
And why have you, in your whole 60 years of being on earth, why have you wondered, who am I? Who am I really? Not what you do, where you live, where you travel to, who you gave this to or that to. Those are the things you do, but you don't know who you are, and that's what the problem is.
Okay. I will accept that. Maybe that's just right where I need to be, and right that's where I really need to.
And you believe that you're a good person, right?
I do.
Would a good person take a grown man into her house and take care of him and hold him down in that way by not making him get out and do his own instead of relying on the welfare such as he's done with you? Would a good person do that?
I have to say a good person such as myself, I'm still going to say I'm a good person, even though you're trying to make me define myself. I have to work on that. But I have to say that I've told this person the door is open. You can leave anytime you want.
Would the good person put him out, or would the good person let a grown man live in her house, not his house, her house? Would a good person allow that to happen?
I would say to an extent, a good person would allow him a brief time to stay somewhere until he can do better.
How's he going to do better? He's 60-something years old. He's been there for 25 years or more. He came back, and you let him back, and you call yourself a good person. There's nothing good about that. That's your ego feeling good about keeping this man down.
Well, see, he's got now I have to say that I've told him to leave. Now, he's the one keeping his own self down.
No, you let him stay in your house.
Okay. Jesse, I don't want to hold up the show, but I just want to say I think you've given me some very, very good advice, things to think about. But
like what, for example?
Well, to think about, I'm coming to the crossroads here to say, hey, either I'm going to have to put my foot down and say, you got to get out of here, and go the legal route, which I've been trying to avoid, or, just give him a date and just go the other way in a natural friendship way and say, hey, I'm about to bounce. I'm about to go see the world. I'm getting ready to retire.
No, you're missing the point. You got to stop playing God. You got to start working on you, because you have all this material stuff, but you're lost and don't know it. You're in a mess.
Okay.
And, and you think you're praying to God and you're not. You got to start. Have you forgiven your mother?
I've tried.
Have you forgiven your mother?
Yes. I would say so.
Have you forgiven your mother?
Okay, I guess not. You know,
Have you forgiven your mother?
Okay, no.
And so, how is it you call yourself a good person and you have not even forgiven your mother?
Okay. Okay, good point. Okay.
No, that was a question.
I don't know, Jesse. I just, you know, this isn't a good experience for me to go through. To receive these kinds of wake-up call kind of questions. I mean, yeah, I do.
This
I
is the
appreciate
best
it.
experience for you.
Pardon?
This is the best experience from you.
Okay.
How is it that you call yourself a good person and you haven't even forgiven? Are you a Christian?
I feel I am. I mean, now, but let me ask you this.
Are you a Christian?
Well, I ascribe to many Christian values, but you have to know the historical origin of Christianity.
Are you a Christian?
I don't know.
Okay. And so how is it that you call yourself a good person and you have not forgiven your mother?
I have to really reflect on forgiving my mother. I mean, forgive her for what? I mean,
screwing you up.
That what?
Well, screwing up you.
Well,
making you angry.
Okay. I see what you're saying. Okay, so it's true. It's true. My biological mother gave me up at 6 months.
Amazing.
I think that was for economical reasons. But no, I wasn't totally out of the pit. The whole story wasn't over. It was like something about the family. You know, I was given to my grandparents temporarily.
Why haven't you gone? Have you forgiven your father?
I never even gave it much thought, but I think not.
And why haven't you forgiven your father?
Because he remarried, and I wanted to finish. If I may, I'd like to finish what I was saying about the 6 months. When I was 6 months, I was given to the grandparents to take care of. But then when I was 6 years old, I was reunited with my mother and my father and my older brother. And then that went on for like 3 years. The marriage didn't last. So basically my dad left and my mother was in touch with my great-grandmother who became guardian of us. And that's how I wound up in Texas.
So why do you call yourself a good person and you have not forgiven? You can't even enter into the kingdom of heaven unless you go and forgive your mother and father. Meaning that I'm sorry for being angry with you guys for whatever reason. You weren't the parents you should have been. You imposed your will, whatever. I'm sorry for resenting you. But why do you call yourself a good person and you have not forgiven? I want to know that.
Okay, well, let me just say this.
Can you answer that for me first?
Pardon?
Why do you call yourself a good person and you have not forgiven?
I would have to say that I haven't formally forgiven anybody.
And so why do you call yourself a good person then?
Well, I know I'm a good person.
And what's good about you is your heart is not forgiven. Hold on a minute. Hold on. And then I'm going to take all the calls and your super chats. Back in a moment. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven. Country and Western Tuesday. Amazing. Country and Western Tuesday. Amazing. For some reason, my headset ain't gone down. And I know Nick coming in right now to adjust it. 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. The Hake Report is coming up at 9 a.m. this morning. The Hake Report at 9 a.m. from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. And then Joel Friday, he black. Joel Friday TV at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And after Joel Friday, the American Anchor Baby at 12 noon. So we got a lot going on. And to donate and have your, for personal shout-outs, go to Cameo, CAMEO.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. CAMEO.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. Birthday shout-out, anniversaries, whatever the shout-out is. All right? Amazing. And check out our merch at rebuildingtheman.com/store. rebuildingtheman.com/store. All right? Thank you, Acre Baby. Always back. And is her name Jacinda? Jacinda says she had purchased Scam a while back. I highly recommend you get my book, Scam, How the Black Leadership Exploits Black America. All my books are amazing. From Raised to Responsibility, the very first one I wrote. And then Scam, How the Black Leadership Exploits Black America. The 7 Guaranteed Steps to Spiritual, Family, Financial Success Guide. A little pocket guide. It's just a little small pocket guide. We use it in our entrepreneur class and everywhere. And then The Antidote, Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood. Isn't that amazing? I will sign them. I'll autograph them to anyone who you want me to do it for. Go to rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com, or call 800-411-BOND, 800-411-2663, all right, to order the books. Jacinda, right, Nick? Jacinda is gone. Jacinda, you can, I don't know what happened. You can call back, all right, Jacinda? But I want to encourage you, you got to start working on you now. You got to go. God said, before you enter into the kingdom of heaven, you must go and forgive, starting with your mother and your father. And then he will draw you in, and he will work on the far south. Amazing. Let me go there's a line open now at 888-7753-773. Let me go to a first-time caller, Susan, out of Texas. And we got to get to everybody about the line of smoking. Susan, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse. Thanks for taking my call. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So I just want to call and talk to you. I've thought about calling you before, but felt like it was kind of the right time now. So my husband listens to your show sometimes or whatever. He really respects what you have to say. He introduced me to you. I think you have wisdom, too, obviously. So I'm just calling. I'm trying to get a input as to what your thoughts are about what I should do in this situation. We've been married 2 years. My husband's a great guy, follows God, all that sort of thing. However, he drinks every night, so he's a great guy apart from that. I'm just saying when he's not that way, he's great. But drinks every night, and then his anger just gets out of control. And it's just gotten to this point of where it's almost like he's just losing his mind. And I know it's Satan, and I know you talk about all that and all that sort of thing. But it's just to the point of where it's just irrational, unreasonable, nothing that I do or don't do, say or don't say, nothing phases it, nothing affects it. And depending on the night or depending on what happens, it'll be probably 2 to 3 nights a week. It'll get crazy. And he's not physically aggressive with me, thankfully. Otherwise, I wouldn't be there still at this point. But he is he's very verbally aggressive and physically aggressive with things. He can throw things, break things, etc. So I guess I'm just at a point where, I mean, I understand the idea that, hey, maybe I should leave, stay with someone else, not be there, whatever. But is that, I guess I'm trying to get resolution, and I know I can't control him. I know I can't make decisions for him. But I'm just trying to do the best thing that will not aggravate the situation more, but I mean, it's sort of at a point where it's becoming, I mean, it's really affecting, obviously, my life, our life. Last night he threw my phone, broke it. That's the third time he's broken my phone, over the past 2 years. I mean, I could tell you a lot of other stories. And obviously, you're just hearing one side of the story. I think you're going to ask me if I obey him. I do obey him. I ask him, hey, what do you want me to do next? Okay, what's your plan here? Okay, you want me to do it this way? And if there's just one little thing that I do wrong or accidentally happen or something, especially when it's at night and he's been drinking, obviously, then it can just, just never know. You just never know what's going to set him off, what's going to explode him, what's going to make him explode. It's come to a point where other people have seen it happen because we've been, there's just been situations where they've seen it happen. So what's your input? What do you think?
And your question for me is what?
My question is, what would be the most fruitful thing that I could do to affect the situation positively?
So so you said that he's a good guy. He's working on himself. The only thing that he does, in your opinion, wrong is he come home and he drink at night, right?
Yeah, I mean, he starts kind of towards the late afternoon.
And so when he get angry, is he angry at you?
Yes,
And why is he angry at you? What happens that causes him to be angry at you?
So I'll give you an example. One time, this was a few months ago, we had gotten groceries. We were going to make tacos. We got home. I went to the bathroom, came into the kitchen. He was like staring at the wall, had a beer in his hand, and I just said, you all good? And he looked at me and said, why do you ask me if I'm good? It's none of your business, and just exploded. I think he punched holes in the wall that night, and I'm not trying to, whatever. When he gets like that, I literally I don't respond. I don't react. I just say, okay. If he says, anyway, that's one example.
Okay. And so when the last time you guys had an argument together?
Last night.
Last night. And what happened last night to bring on the argument?
So we had a good day in the morning, did some things around the house, etc. We just moved, so we've had to unpack and all this. So we got done with some things, and I said, what do you want to do next? He said, well, we're going to take inspection photos, like of the house, basically, take photos everywhere, make sure everything's good that way. We've already moved a lot of stuff into the house. So I said, okay, great. I said, you want me to use my phone or you take them? No, you take them. Okay, great.
And so what happened, though? Make a long story short, what happened?
Okay. So we go outside. I start taking photos. He said, you're not doing it right. Do it this way. I said, okay. How do you want me to do it? No, you're not doing it right. I said, okay. How do you want me to do it? Show me how you want me to do it. And then it just escalated from there. You can't do it right. You don't even know what you're doing. So then I said, okay, I'll just stop. No, we got to take the photos. I said, okay. So I started taking the photos. He ended up going into the other room, was on his phone for a little bit. I was taking photos. He came out. He said, what the hell are you doing? I told you to not take photos. You're not even doing it right. You F&B. You don't know what you're doing. I said, okay, how would you like me to do them? And then it just on and on.
So let me ask. It's like I'm only hearing one side of the story. What are you doing wrong?
I understand what you're saying. I really, and I'm not. I know this sounds. I know you think, oh, there's got to be something to provoke.
Well, I'm not thinking anything at this point. I'm just all I've heard about is him, and I'm not saying you're right or wrong about that. I'm not disagreeing or agreeing with that, but I haven't heard what it is that you should not be doing. How should you not participate in all this?
The only thing that I have found to not participate is when he starts getting really mad and calling me names and swearing at me and screaming. If I can leave the house and just go for a walk, at least I can get out of this situation for a few minutes. I try to do that, and then even when I come back, he's still upset. And I can apologize to him. I can say, hey, okay, I'm sorry.
So you're literally doing nothing wrong, right?
Yes. I mean, I'm not trying to say I'm perfect or something. I'm telling you honestly, if you observe the situation.
Let's say that, and again, I don't have his side of the story, so I can't really.
Of course. Yeah.
What made you, if he's treating you this way for no reason at all, why do you stay there? Why have you gone?
Because I'm trying to, one reason I made a covenant with God when we got married. 2, I love him.
You made
3,
what?
I understand that I made a covenant with God when we got married.
What do you mean by that?
When I got married, I made vows to God of certain things that I would do and around the marriage.
Okay, hello? And what other reason you stand?
I love him, and 3, I see that I know God brought us together. I know God has plans. I know the potential is all there. So I'm just trying to. I could leave. I have friends I could stay with. I have family. I could do all that. I'm trying to not escalate the situation. I'm trying to get resolution on the situation. I'm trying to. I mean,
why do you think God brought you together?
A lot of things. Basically, we met. We just have the same vision for life. We have the same goals. We pursue the same things. We discuss really clearly all of our. Go ahead.
So why do you think God brought you together?
Because God made it very clear in multiple ways.
He made it very clear you brought you together.
Yes.
So would God give you a husband that you would have to fight with? You have to try to make the relationship work, and all that. Why would God give you misery?
I don't think He would. So
well, who gave it to you then? You said it came from God.
Sure. I mean, it wasn't like this, obviously, at the beginning.
But you said it came from God. If it came from God, it doesn't change.
Sure.
Would God give you a relationship that you would have to work on?
Yeah, possibly. I think if I need to learn things or he needs to learn things, sure. I can see that.
That's not true at all. Where you get that idea from?
Okay. If there's things that I need to grow in or he needs to grow in, God can do things to create change in us, right? Or to not create change. We decide on our own. But He can.
God would never give you anything that you need to work on. All that comes from Him is perfect and good.
Okay.
And so why would you think God would give you a messed up marriage?
I guess I think God gave me a good marriage, but man messed it up. Humans messed it up.
No. God only give good. And God did not give you a marriage where you have to fight and try to make it work. It happened naturally. All that comes from God is already completed. And nothing is required of you but to live.
Okay.
Do you believe that?
I guess I don't, because I think that his purpose is for us to grow and change and become more like him. So I think there's situations he can allow us to be in or put us in or whatever. I mean, we both made our own decisions. I'm not saying God like forced us to get married or something.
Right.
But I think that he allows things or whatever and causes, to help us to become more like him.
Where did you get that
I mean,
from?
We're not perfect yet.
How did you come up with that?
Because I'm not God. I'm not perfect like God. So if I'm striving to, or if that's the goal, I think that's the goal. So I can imagine that to get to that point, I'd have to. I mean, there's a process of getting to that point.
Which is easier for you to accept? You are a sinner, or all your sins have been wiped away?
I would say both.
Which is easier for you to accept? You are a sinner, or all your sins have been wiped away?
I would say both, but if you want me to choose
How
one,
you
that
going to
all
be
my
a
sins are
sinner
wiped
and all
away.
sin wiped away? You can't have but one or the other.
All sins are wiped away, but that doesn't mean that I'm a perfect person.
And so if all your sins are wiped away, what would be imperfect about you?
Sins
If
that I
all your
commit
sins
after
have been forgiven, what would be imperfect about you?
Just because a sin is forgiven doesn't mean that I'm now like God.
And why do you say that?
Because it doesn't mean that that every decision I make is the same decision God would make, or everything I do is the same thing God would do.
And why do you say that?
Because I'm not God.
And so you don't believe all your sins are wiped away then?
I do believe they're all wiped away.
If they're wiped away, do you still have them?
No. But,
and if if they've been wiped away and you don't have them, then I don't understand why you're saying what you're saying.
Okay.
No, I'm saying, I'm trying to understand.
My sins can be wiped away, but that doesn't automatically mean that I don't ever sin again.
And what?
That doesn't mean that.
Really?
Yeah.
And who are you that doing the sinning?
Well, I would say that it's my carnal nature.
It's your carnal nature. Are you your carnal nature?
I don't think it's my identity.
Are you your carnal nature?
No.
Then why do you say you sin then? Why you say it's you?
My carnal nature sins.
Why do you say it's you if it's not you?
Then I'll just say my carnal nature sins.
But why do you say it's you?
Because my carnal nature it's in me. So it's not totally eliminated yet.
And why do you say it's in you?
Because so I don't know exactly. I don't know exactly how to answer your question, but I would just say that I don't make the perfect decision every time. I'm not God. So there's something else in me, and maybe it's Satan. I mean, obviously Satan and all that. We know that that's where that comes from. But it's not. I'm not. I don't make everything I do is not perfect like God does.
Let me tell you this.
So
why do you make decisions? Who gave you permission to make decisions?
I practically have to in order to live my life.
Who gave you permission to make decisions when all the decisions you make are wrong?
I guess I don't know. I'm not sure how else I would live my life. How else would I live my life other than making decisions?
How about living your life without making decisions? Make no
decisions. How would that
practically
work?
Perfectly.
How would that practically work?
Perfectly.
So what about if so I'm sitting here right now in my vehicle. So the next thing, I have to go to, or I have work today. So should I make a decision? So I can either decide to go to work or decide not to go to work.
That's
how
a
do I
decision
run my life?
even that's a practical decision, but even that decision is already made for you. You know, you got to go to work. Go to work.
So can you
that
give me an
decision is already
example?
made for you.
Okay. Can you help me understand what you're saying? Can you give me an example of what you're saying?
You are playing God and worshiping the devil and think that you're worshiping God, and you're not. You got to start working on you. And because of time, I'm going to have to run, but I recommend, because I don't hear your husband's side of the story, so I can't really be fair here, but I would highly recommend, as of right now, never argue with him again. Don't argue with him. If he act out, if he want to be mad, let him be mad. It's on him and not you. It has nothing to do with you. His issues are his issues that are inside of him, and he was already screwed up when you met him, and you were already screwed up when he met you, and you had two screwed up people who've got together and created hell for one another by saying that you're screwing up each other's lives, and it's not true. You were already screwed up. He have nothing to give you, and you have nothing to give to him.
Okay. All right. Okay. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Okay, call me again, maybe with him or something, all right?
Sure. Okay. Thank you.
All right, Susan. 888-7753-773. I'm going to get to all of your calls. Though I have a guest coming up now, I'm not going to keep the guest forever. And I'm going to get to your calls in Super Chat. Hate coming in with the hate news, not the fake news. I'll be back in a moment.
Before I ask my question, I want to thank you so much. The silent prayer. You know, I'm 50 years old. At home, we have a 16-year-old, 14-year-old, and a 10-year-old. And I got to tell you, introducing the silent prayer to my family, instead of just sitting down and saying the same old prayer over and over again before we eat our meal, to just be silent, bringing all thoughts into captivity. Brother, that has been such a huge, huge blessing in our lives. I just want to encourage anyone to try that out. It's amazing to look around after we've done our silent prayer before we eat, to see the excitement in my kids' faces, like, oh yeah, Dad, I had a bunch today. Or the other one will be like, yeah, you know, I had a couple things that I've been thinking about. It really takes root, Jesse, and so I want to thank you so much, and ever since then, it's been absolutely amazing. So thank you so much.
You're welcome, Tony. Stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. You're going to know God and his love. It's going to be amazing, man.
An update on the Papua New Guinea landslide and Pope Francis drama. Is Pope Francis homophobic? Give me a break. And Bill Walton died. Rest in peace. Gone too soon. And many other things. This is the end of hour 2 of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show, Country and Western Tuesday. Stay tuned for hour 3. JLP will be right back to a guest here, Bill Lockwood, I believe. And your calls. We will get to your calls as well, hopefully, and the rest of the Super Chats. But first, Hake News on Fake News. And you can call in right now over the break. Papua New Guinea, CNN reports thousands of people been ordered to evacuate Papua New Guinea following a massive landslide. I mentioned this yesterday. Last week it took place. As many as 2,000 people feared to have been buried in the disaster that rattled the mountainous Enga region on Friday. Rescuers have struggled to reach such a remote part of what is already one of Asia's poorest nations, Papua New Guinea, leaving locals with little choice but to dig through the mountainside with whatever tools they have. Wow. The area continues to pose an extreme risk. Rocks continue to fall and soil is exposed to constant increased pressure. Unclear what caused the landslide. Geologists say rainfall could have altered the minerals of the bedrock, weakening the rock that forms the steep hillsides. And Pope Francis controversy brewing at the Vatican after Pope Francis, allegedly, according to Commie Nonsense Network, CNN, told Italian bishops not to permit so-called gay men to train for the priesthood. He knows there's a problem. 2 Italian newspapers claimed, without citing evidence, allegedly, maybe, that the 87-year-old pontiff made a homophobic slur, no such thing, in a closed-door meeting May 20th. The newspaper articles translated from Italian claimed the Pope had said there is something like that. I'm probably butchering, obviously, the pronunciation, which translates in English to purgatory. Whoa, CNN, calm down. In some of the seminaries. So purgatory in some of the seminaries, according to them. A source close to the Pope told CNN it could also be understood as a gay climate in the seminaries. Yeah, which is not right, not morally straight. CNN reached out to the Vatican to request a comment on whether the Pope used the term, but has not gotten a response. Evil commie nonsense, always pushing the gay agenda. Rest in peace, Bill Walton. CNN says the Basketball Hall of Fame center, that's a position in the basketball court, I guess, and colorful commentator, he died on Monday following a prolonged battle with cancer. He lost his battle with cancer. The NBA announced he was 71 years old only. Wow, tender age. Among several notable accolades, Bill Walton won 2 national titles at UCLA and 2 NBA championships in Portland and Boston. Does his son still play, or is his son retired too now? I remember seeing his son play, I think. Stewardess died at 88. Fly high, Bette, B-E-T-T-E. That's what American Airlines stated, mourning the loss of Bette Nash, N-A-S-H, world's longest-serving flight attendant, also known as a stewardess, or hostess de l'air. Bette Nash, was 88. She started the job in 1957, spent nearly 7 decades caring for the customers with warmth, dedication, and unparalleled service. She was white. Now she's gone. That's what the airline said. Never officially retired and died in hospice May 17th. 88, gone too soon. But that's not too bad of a life, right? Investors are putting money into Elon Musk's AI startup. XAI announced they raised $6 billion, according to Elon Musk, I believe. And he said that puts the company's valuation at $24 billion. Though XAI has not disclosed specific plans for the funds, Elon Musk reportedly noted days ago that the company, founded last July, still has a lot of catching up to do compared to AI rivals like OpenAI and Anthropic, whatever that is. So we'll see what happens. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 3.
To stand up strong, think the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Peterson. Welcome to the 3rd hour of the show already. Excuse me. You can get involved. There's a line open at 888-7753-773, 888-77-JESSE, Jesse, Jesse. And my biblical question, it's a doozy. Are emotions necessary? Are emotions necessary? An amazing question. You can listen to the show live on your iPhone or iPad by calling the listen line if you're like too busy to sit and watch it as it's happening. I know you can podcast all the shows, of course, but if you want to listen while you're doing whatever it is you're doing, you can by calling the listen line on your iPhone or iPad at 605-615-4131. That's 605-615-4131. All right, and to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, or Bond JLP Cash App. Bond JLP Cash App. Let me just say, I have a guest right now. Your friend, my friend, and the world friend is here. And he's here every last Tuesday of the month. I am going to get to all of your calls, though. I will get to your calls and your super chats. We're going to be talking to Bill Lockwood in a minute. But first, it is Country and Western Tuesday. Bring back, oh, bring back my country to me. Bring back my country to me. What dog? Who let the dogs out? Amazing. Amazing. Bill Lockwood is here, our friend, your friend of Bond, friend of mine, a friend of the Lord. The smartest white man on this side of heaven, Bill Lockwood, a writer and preacher. He's the host of Patriotic Pulpit podcast and Bible studies with Bill Lockwood on YouTube. He is a preacher at Our Park Church of Christ and teacher at Wichita Christian School. Bill.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Good. How are you today, Jesse?
All is well. Thanks for coming on again. I appreciate it.
Well, I'm just happy to be here. It's a great honor for me to be with you.
Right on. And again, let me just thank you to callers. I am going to get to your calls, all right? And your super chat. Bill Lockwood is here the last Tuesday of every month, and it's amazing to have him here. So, Bill, you doing well? All is well?
Yes, sir. Everything's going well.
Nice.
I'm healthy, and so my wife is healthy, so everybody's doing fine as far as I know, and so yeah, everything is going well.
I want to get right into this subject because in all honesty, I don't clearly understand it, and so I'm gonna try to get as much understanding from you as possible about it. I want to talk to you about the International Criminal Court and their recent arrest warrant issued on Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel. First of all, can you tell us what is the International Criminal Court and what authority do they have to threaten to arrest anybody?
Well, those are good questions, and really they get right to the heart of the issue. The International Criminal Court, or the ICC, was actually established in Rome in 1998 as an adjunct of the United Nations. The United Nations actually was established in 1945 as a world government, but they didn't have it laid it out quite that way at the first. They wanted to get the foot in the door. They wanted to get the basic building blocks in place, and they sold it to the American people as a place where people or nations might be able to come and iron out their differences. But in reality, those who crafted the United Nations were world global socialists, and they wanted to have a global government, and the goal has been to bring America under a global socialist rule. But in order to do that, you have to have not only laws in place internationally, but you have to have a court system that would be able to prosecute people who do wrong, and you have to have an arm of enforcement, a world global cop. And so they have utilized through the history in the global cop system different nations who have gone and been transformed into United Nations armies. So that's how they have basically planned it. But John Kennedy signed a statement to transfer by little all of our arms and armaments and weaponry and our armed forces over to the authority of the United Nations. That was in 1962. Many people don't realize that he signed that statement, but nevertheless, he did. And that's been their goal. So the ICC was another step in the goal. They had many meetings that took place prior to it as preparatory to setting up an international criminal court, which today is overseen by Karim Khan, who is the chief prosecutor of the ICC. But the danger, of course, is that the ICC claims to be a supranational authority that is arresting individuals, putting out arrest warrants for individuals in various countries. It was passed by a 60-nation majority, and it was sold to the American people as a treaty, which is interesting in itself. We'll talk about that in a little bit if we have time. But the point simply is that they claim to be authority or authoritative over nations. Consequently, that's the danger of it. So if our Constitution is the system under which our jurisprudence operates, and so the jurisdiction of the United States. So if I commit a crime here in Texas, then I'm going to be, and according to the Constitution, tried in the state of Texas by a jury of my own peers in a speedy and public trial, etc. All of those are gone. They have no bearing on the International Criminal Court. The International Criminal Court claims jurisdiction over every person on the globe and is overriding national sovereignty. They don't care about national sovereignty. And so here's how it could be. If you commit a crime against, let's say, a crime of aggression, Jesse, or a crime against humanity, which is an open-ended statement that they make. If you commit a crime of aggression, for example, against homosexuals by saying that homosexuality is sinful, then theoretically, the International Criminal Court could step in and say, you know what, you can't have a crime against a different group of people like that. That's a crime against humanity. They can cart you off, according to their own statements, to another nation, incarcerate you for a number of years before your hearing comes up. You could be incarcerated 5 to 7 years before you have a hearing. How opposite is that from what we have in our own system? But it absolutely tramples on constitutional rights. So the International Criminal Court has recently put out a statement, issued an arrest warrant from Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, as well as different leaders of Hamas. It doesn't matter whether you think or I think that Hamas or Israel has done wrong. The issue is who has the authority to arrest and to try individuals like that. Are we turning over all of our jurisprudence to an international body that is unaccountable to any higher authority? That's the issue. Our founding fathers went to great lengths to have checks and balances put into the Constitution.
Yeah.
And those checks and balances curtail the power of the government to do what they're trying to do and what they are claiming to do at the International Criminal Court. They have no checks and balances. They're not answerable to anyone. They claim that they're sovereign over the United States and all other nations, even nations that are not signatory to the ICC, such as Israel and the United States were not signatory. They still issue arrest warrants for individuals. And
Amazing.
So that's the danger of it.
And do they have a police force or an army?
You know, the United Nations utilizes the different nations, signatory nations at the United Nations for their army right now. That's what they utilize. And they do have an army that way. They conscript armies from different countries. For example, there are many different nations that came in back in the what was called the Congo in the 1960s. UN armies came into the Congo to settle internal strife.
Yeah, I remember that in the movies.
That's right. But they ended up committing so many war atrocities against the Congolese people that it would, but they were people that were foreign armies wearing blue helmets, blue shields, blue tanks, and they were from different countries. They have no affinity to a nation, and they have no, so who do they answer to? They don't answer to anybody. And so they committed horrible atrocities against the Congolese people. And that's how the United Nations has always operated.
Amazing. So this idea that they're going to arrest Netanyahu is not going to happen.
Well, I don't think it will. They issued an arrest warrant for Vladimir Putin also for the invasion of Ukraine not long ago. And Vladimir Putin says, you know, he defies the ICC, and he says, I issue an arrest warrant for Karim Khan, that is the chief prosecutor of the ICC. It's interesting that Amal Clooney, George Clooney's wife, is also on the board, advisory board to Karim Khan. So we have the elitists in America, these people from Hollywood, George Clooney's of the world. These individuals, these elitists, are all in favor of a global government that is answerable to no one. And they have open-ended ideas regarding the law. That is, they don't even tell us what kind of aggression are you talking about? How do you define aggression? How do you find curtailing someone's human rights? What exactly does that mean? They even have a statement in some of the articles of the ICC that tell us that if you trample on the rights of certain groups, like, okay, so that would be, for example, homosexuals. All right, so the homosexuals claiming to be a political class, if you trample those rights, they have the authority, the jurisdiction to step in and arrest individuals who do that. So are preachers going to be arrested? Are preachers under the purview of the ICC? Apparently so. But this is the buildup of the ICC and the world government. By the way, let me just mention this real quickly, Jesse. It's interesting to note that Alan Cranston, who was a Democrat from California in the 1940s, he said in 1949, in a couple of interviews, he said, what we have with the United Nations is really a world government. But, however, we don't want to use the term world government because it frightens everybody away. So we will use the terms world governance. That's exactly what they have in mind. Other leaders of the ICC have said it does away with national sovereignty. It's time that we take their word for it.
Amazing. And so let's say that these people support homosexuality and they protect them. The Muslim countries don't like the homosexuals. They throw them off buildings and all kinds of stuff. Would they go after the leaders of the Muslim country?
No, not at all. Because the Muslim countries are now in dominance in the United Nations.
Whoa.
And so they're not going to rest their own. But it is interesting throughout history. This is how history always works. They have one goal and they unite in that one goal. And that one goal is to bring down, according to Muslim terminology, the great dragon, the United States, or communist terminology. They want to bring down this bastion, what we call the bastion of freedom. They are after the United States. But once those goals are attained, then people that are on the left, socialists of all classes, socialists, fascists, Nazis, they all turn on one another and begin fighting one another.
Yeah.
And so in the Mideast, in the Middle Ages, when the Muslims, when Islam actually captured the Middle East, and then we have the Crusaders coming down and trying to fight. Well, the Muslims united to fight the Crusaders, but once those battles were over, they turned on one another. And so that's exactly how it always happens. And so these Nazis, fascists, socialists, communists, they turn on one another and fight among one another. And that's exactly what's going to happen.
Amazing. Do this ICC thing, do they just go after the heads of states, or do they go after regular citizens who live in those states?
Well, they go after whomever they wish. But right now, here's how communism, socialism works. And that is they get the planks in place to establish certain things that we've been talking about. For example, the United Nations. It was sold to the American people as a peacekeeping operation where we can go along and talk to one another and we can avoid World War III. Well, that's how it was sold. But it was actually designed according to its own designers, such as the communists, such as Alger Hiss. Those kind of, it was designed to start the ball rolling, and they said, get it going now. We will gather strength and power later. That's why in 1962, John Kennedy signed the declaration to turn all of our armed forces over to the United Nations, because they wanted, the Democrats, and Democrats always do this, want to turn our sovereignty over to an international body.
Yeah.
And so a lot of Republicans do too. And this is what makes the difference between conservatives and liberals. And that's why this is what a neocon is. A neocon is a neoconservative, is a Republican who has bought into the socialistic worldview. So you have Democrats who are basically socialists. You have neocons, Republicans, who have bought into the socialist worldview, and that's socialism light. And then you have constitutionalists, and they are in a minority. So that's how it's going. And what they do is they get the ball rolling and they build on it later, just like the European Union. The European Union was sold to the entire continent of Europe as simply a treaty by which they can have fair trade, just have fair trade. Should sound familiar to us. That's what we've been sold on too.
Yeah.
The fair trade agreements, okay? Yeah. But the fair trade now has turned into a global governing body where the European Union makes laws for different nations of the European continent. And some of the nations say, wait a minute, we need to get out of this. They have no say-so in the forming of the laws. They have no say-so in the enforcement of the laws. And you have an entire independent, supra-sovereign body, the European Union, which now dominates and rules over the European nations.
Amazing. Bill, and again, I'm trying to get as much in before the time is up. Tell us about the treaty.
Okay, so the treaty that I mentioned,
yeah,
the ICC, so this is how the United Nations and all liberalism actually works. United Nations, ICC, they go the route of a treaty. A treaty only needs, 2/3 of a vote of the Senate to pass. It's not like a law. So if we were to pass a law in the United States, we will have to go through the House of Representatives. They will have to come up with the law. They would have to agree upon it. They would pass it. It goes to the Senate. And this is the checks and balances. And then they would amend it. They would send it back, and it goes back and forth. And finally, it comes out later. Then the president can veto it, all that kind of thing. A treaty does not go through the rigorous process that way. A treaty is only agreed upon. And now it comes about that the treaties are agreed upon by the executive branch. They say, well, this is a treaty. We need to get into the treaty. So Joe Biden says, this is the great thing about Donald Trump, by the way. Donald Trump says, United Nations, no, we're getting out of this. We're pulling back. And we're not going to be a part of this, all of these plans and schemes you have. Joe Biden, when he first came in, what did he do? He said, no, we're getting right back into, for example, the Paris Climate Accord. What is that? It's a treaty. It's a treaty that the executive branch agrees to, that we're going to curtail all of our carbon emissions. China doesn't care about it. India doesn't care about it. The developing nations don't care about it. They simply siphon off money from the United States to pay reparations, carbon reparations to the other nations for changing the climate. It's a globalist government scheme. And that's how these treaties operate. So they simply bypass the legislative process in the United States by saying, well, this is a treaty. This is a treaty. A treaty, by the way, if we were to go to a treaty, let's say we would have a treaty with Great Britain. both countries, both signatories to that treaty would have to agree to it, right?
Right.
This is not how the treaty works with the ICC. It's a treaty. They said it's agreed upon by 60 nations, and that would pass it. And even though the United States was not a signatory to the treaty, so-called, we're still under the aegis, under the jurisdiction of that treaty.
Wow.
That's not how a treaty, that's how this ICC works. So this, you can see immediately, it's a power play.
Yeah.
That's all that it is.
Amazing. So it's with the ICC, the United States and Israel are not a part of the ICC yet, right?
Right.
Oh, good.
Well, yeah, but Obama wanted it. Biden wanted it. Biden has now, but they kind of backed up now that they put out this arrest warrant for Benjamin Netanyahu. That well, wait a minute, type thing.
Yeah.
But we gave the ICC its teeth a long time ago. Just like we gave the United Nations the authority to have its own teeth. And now when those teeth get big fangs, we just start, well, wait a minute, this is a little bit too much. We are so blind to the very purposes of world government and those who crafted it, who have stated over and over and over again, this is their goal. This is what they want to do. This is their plan from the beginning. And we say, well, we're going to go along with the UN and we're just going to, we'll be a part of it. But now, well, some of the things, okay, what is it? It was a plan for world government from the beginning. But they didn't want to call it that because, you'd run away from it.
Yeah.
And so will some of the Democrats back at that time. Today, in our colleges and universities that our students are Marxist, more or less, and they're brainwashed to be a Nazi, they're for it. Yeah, they're for it because this is what it is.
Amazing. I wanted to ask you this. I had to write it down. Would you say the sovereignty of America is the greatest political issue of our time?
Well, in some ways that would be correct. There are a lot of political issues now. I remember hearing conservative speakers in the past say that once socialism begins to roll in this country, and we cast aside the Constitution, which we have done with the welfare state, once that takes place, then things are going to go like a waterfall. It's just at first you see cracks in it, and you're trying to put your finger here and there in the dam, but soon the water starts coming over the top, and so that's what's happening now. Water's coming over the top, and it's just beginning to flood. So national sovereignty is an important issue, which I would include in that the idea that we have national borders. So, for example, why does Joe Biden want to erase the borders of the United States? Why does the Democratic Party want to erase the borders of the United States? The United Nations has called for that for years and years and years. They have siphoned money from the United States, sent it via the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank, direct loans to foreign nations, and you, the taxpayer, on the hook when they renege on their loans. They go to dictators in the different countries. They don't have a law system that protects the private properties over there, so they're going to be always abysmally poor in foreign countries. They don't have a law system that protects individuals as private property. But we stupidly continue to go along with this idea of we pay the taxpayer, the American taxpayer continues to pay all of the payments for these foreign nations. Donald Trump bumped that out for the protection of Europe, for the protection of other nations, giving loans. Matter of fact, we couldn't give away money fast enough, Jesse. So when John Kennedy came to office, he fathered laws that would be direct loans, that would be direct aid to foreign countries. We couldn't get rid of our money fast enough. And so direct aid goes to foreign nations. So this all is indeed an attack on our sovereignty. And that's exactly what's happening. So it would be inclusive of the siphoning off of American wealth. It would include the United Nations call for that siphoning off, which they've done forever and ever and ever. As a matter of fact, those who, John Keynes, those who put the ideas forward for this International Monetary Fund and the World Bank said, we need to give our money to these foreign nations. There's not one constitutional line of our iota that allows that to be done, not even to Israel. We don't have authority in the Constitution to give away $1 of my money to a foreign nation.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, they can't give away our money fast enough. The United Nations has called for this, the erasing of our borders. And that's exactly what it is. So yes, the answer is yes, long answer here, but national sovereignty is indeed the issue because it includes the collapse of our monetary system. It includes the collapse of our borders and everything that goes along with it.
Mind blowing. The ICC, do they go after anyone other than the white countries like Israel, America, Russia? Do they only go after the white countries?
No, well, right now they have issued arrest warrants for Benjamin Netanyahu and I think it's his defense minister.
Right.
I've forgotten his name, but they've also issued arrest warrants for several leaders of Hamas.
Oh.
So they've done that as well. So they're going to be able to say, hey, no, we don't go after only white countries, but as you know as well as I do, that America is the great dragon in their mind.
Yeah.
And it is America they want to bring down.
Yeah.
America is the one they're after.
That's why I think they're just pretending to be going after Hamas, just to say, oh, we're fair and balanced. They're not fair and balanced.
That's correct. That's correct. They're good. Well, yeah, we're fair and balanced. We're putting out arrest warrants for both sides here. But Benjamin Netanyahu said this to America in a speech the other day. He said, Americans, you're next.
Yeah.
So, and that's exactly right. He's exactly right. He's a great leader, and he knows exactly of which he speaks.
Hake, you know who Hake is, right? James Hake.
James, yeah, Mr. Hake. I do know Mr. James Hake.
He wanted to know, was Israel founded by communists since it was founded by the UN?
Well, you know what? I wouldn't say that necessarily they were just straightforward communists who founded Israel, but it was indeed founded by the United Nations. So those who wanted to found Israel were in that time in the 1920s and 30s, leading up to the creation of the United Nations. They were leaders in Great Britain, and they insisted that Israel have a place for itself, land for itself.
Amazing. Let me take a quick break. 888-77-53773, my final segment with Bill Lockwood. I'll be back in a minute for your calls and to Bill. Back in a moment. The treasure chest is now open on D-Live. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingaman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven. Okay, folks, welcome back. 888-7753-773. There's a line open if you want to jump in there. The Hake, H-A-K-E, the guy with the good hair, is coming up at the top of this hour. The HakeReport.com from 9 to 11 a.m. And after the Hake Report, Joel Friday TV, he black, is coming up after the Hake Report at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And then after the Hake Report, the American Anchor Baby, energy given to him by God. By God. Natural energy, the American Anchor Baby at 12 noon. I want to get back to Bill because when Bill is here, I'm blown away. Bill, tell the folks before and then I'm going to try to squeeze in at least one call here for you. Tell the folks how to get your podcast and all the stuff you're doing and how they can help support you financially.
Sure. Thank you for that, Jesse.
Yeah.
Well, to support me financially, I have a website, American Liberty with Bill Lockwood. It has a donate button on it, and you can put the donation in there, and that, of course, I appreciate that. The website, or I should say the podcast, is Patriotic Pulpit. Patriotic Pulpit is a .com, and it is on Spotify as well as on Amazon Music app as well as on YouTube. And then I have Bible Studies with Bill Lockwood. That's what I do in the pulpit. That's also on YouTube. And then the church, of course, is the Iowa Park Church of Christ, and I have articles there.
Amazing. I want to go to your friend and my friend, Bill, and America's friend, I think. I don't know about white American friend.
Uh-oh.
Maze. Our
Okay.
friend Maze out of Ohio. Maze, welcome to the show. You're on with Bill Lockwood.
Hello, Ethan. Hello, Bill and Jesse.
Hey, Maze.
Hey, Maze, how are you today?
I'm just fine. I listened to you discuss of treaties and all of this stuff. America had treaties too, and they didn't abide by those. But I have a question for you the next time you show up. Could you explain 2025 to us, for those that don't, that's too slow in understanding? Do you know what that is? Project 2025.
2025?
Yes.
I don't think I know what you're talking about, really.
Well, we need you to do a little research and come back the next time and help us with America, not everywhere else.
But you need to tell us what 2025, that's what you see, you know about it, Mace?
Well, yes. I like for people to look and understand before I speak,
And
so they can know what I'm talking about, to be a part of it.
What is 2025?
What they have for something for the American people that they have planned. They got 900 pages, and it's not hard to do.
900 pages?
And we like Bill Lockwood to be the one to introduce it to us.
You read 925 pages?
Is it hard for you to do?
Yeah, I'm blind. Ain't no way I'm going to read 925. I hate to read the soundbite.
You're just one black person that did it. Oh, and Jesse, I have something to tell you.
But, man,
I was in Alabama last week, and my sister just really enjoyed you.
Right on. Tell your sister I love her. I love her, too.
Hey, Maze, let me ask you this. Where do I find 2025?
Look it up, and you will find 2025. It's not hard to find.
It's project. It's called.
It's the project they have for the American people.
It's called Project 2025, Bill. I have no idea.
Yes.
I have no idea what it is.
Who's the they that you speak of? They have a project for the American. Who's they?
The American people. Some of those parties that you belong to and people belong to. This is America for you. And also, when you went back saying, when you were talking about...
Bill, I'm sorry. I have no idea what it sounds like a black project.
You got to look it up, and James going to do it for him.
It must be a black project, Bill.
Well, I'll have to look it up, Maze.
Yeah, please do, and explain it the next time you come on, since you can explain the rural and everything else except what's going on here.
And Maze, do you agree with me that Bill Lockwood is one of the smartest white men on this side of heaven?
No, he might be bright, but I don't know anything about being smart.
No.
And
you put us both on the spot there, Jesse.
And Maze, do you agree with me that Bill Lockwood should run for VP with the great white hope, Donald Trump?
No.
No.
For what reason?
Because he's smart. He know Bill Lockwood probably know more
What
than
you,
Trump.
You think?
You
Well,
don't
just I
think?
have a question for you.
You don't
Do you
think
our
Bill?
Constitution-
You don't think Bill is smart?
No, no. I'm glad he's out of the classroom too. I'm glad he retired.
All
Well,
right.
guys.
Well, thank you, Maze,
Yes,
for
Project
that.
2025.
All right. Thank you,
Okay,
man.
we'll look
Good
at
to hear
Project
from.
Come next
2025.
time you come in and give him a special day so he can explain it to the people.
I will.
They'll be on stage. Y'all have a good one.
Thank you,
Okay,
Maze.
you too, Maze.
Amazing. Bill, your final parting words you want to give us and whatever information you want to give out.
Well, I would just say that one of the most serious issues in the presidential election coming up is indeed whether we're going to retain any kind of or any vestige of national sovereignty or not. Are we
Yeah.
going to retain any sovereignty, any vestige of it? Donald Trump is for national sovereignty. Are we going to actually turn over our freedoms to an international, unelected body of bureaucrats that are unanswerable to anyone? Is that where this is going? Our founding fathers put into place a constitutional system and a judicial system that has us tried before a court that is closest to us in the state where we are, jury trial of our own peers. And all of this, by the way, comes right out of the Bible. It is the Bible that gives us these great things, such as the presumption of innocence, a speedy trial, the habeas corpus, that is, here's the person you're going to appear in this court, the integrity of judges, that judges can't take bribes. All of these things are in the Bible, and our founding fathers garnered them from the Holy Scriptures. And that's why our constitutional system has been such a great system.
Amazing. Bill, give me a quick answer to this. Do you believe that the earth is flat or round?
Let's see. The last time I was in space, I think it looked like a ball. But you know, the Bible teaches that it's a sphere. So the Bible teaches the circumference of the earth in the book of Isaiah. So the Bible has said it all along.
It's a sphere?
It's a sphere, that's right, upon
What's
the
that?
circle of the earth.
Oh, so that is round?
Circle, right, circular, that's right.
Oh.
The Bible teaches it, and so I didn't even need to go to space. The Bible teaches it is spherical. That is, it's right.
And why do some people believe it's, scientists and others believe it's flat?
Well, because they don't believe the Bible, I guess.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Amazing. Once again, give out your information, Bill.
Sure, Jesse, yeah. Thank you for that. Well, the podcast is Patriotic Pulpit. It's a .com, Patriotic Pulpit. It's on Spotify. It's also on Amazon Music app. It's on YouTube. And so some of the issues that I talk about here, I also talk about on the podcast. Then I have Bible studies with Bill Lockwood, which are, of course, from the Iowa Park Church of Christ. My sermons, the material, I'm going through the book of Romans right now, so you can find all that material there. I'll be talking about Calvinism this week, so people need to tune in to Bible studies with Bill Lockwood, and I'll talk about and cross-examine Calvinism, which is the basis of all denominationalism, and it needs to be exposed for what it is. So those are some of the places you can go.
Absolutely. Have you ever debated anyone, because there are some Christians who believe that the earth is flat too. Have you ever debated anyone about the earth being flat or round?
No.
Do you mind debating someone on it?
You know what? I don't mind. A matter of fact, you can't beg denominational preachers to defend their doctrine on a polemic platform. You cannot pay them to do it. As one old preacher told me, it's easier to knock down the Rocky Mountains with a cornstalk than to get a Baptist preacher to defend his doctrine on a polemic platform anymore.
Yeah.
You can't, they don't defend it. But I will say this, I will only debate issues that I think are worthwhile. And I don't believe that discussing whether it's round or flat really is a worthwhile issue to discuss.
That makes so much sense to me, Bill. I never wake up in the morning wondering is the earth flat or round.
I will draw a sword, but only for those issues such as the existence of God. Baptism is for the remission of sins and necessary for salvation. One can fall from grace. Calvinism is false doctrine. The Catholic Church is not established by the Bible. The Roman Pope is not a vicar of Christ. The Roman Catholic Church is an apostasy from the New Testament Church and so forth. Those are kind of issues that I will discuss and debate. Baptism is by immersion, and it is for adults. But, you know, those kinds of things, not sprinkling and pouring. Those are the issues that I think we can discuss. But those other issues, round or flat, the earth, no.
I totally agree and understand. Thank you, Bill. Amazing.
Yes, sir. Yeah, thank you, Jesse.
All right, we'll talk soon.
Okay, looking forward to it.
Amazing. Bill Lockwood, folks. Check him out. Amazing. Thank you, Bill. Let me go quickly to Nicole out of Georgia. Nicole, welcome to the show. You're on the air. Thanks for holding.
Hi, Jesse. How are you?
All is well.
All is well. Jesse, around this time last year, I was in the fiery furnace, but when I started listening to you in the first of this year, you know, things just started opening up to me and everything.
Yes.
And I've been sticking with your principles and, you know, the silent prayer and everything. And my eyes just been opening up to the people, the world around me. And it forced me to look at myself.
Right on.
And I was so sick and tired of being in my hell that I just, you know, I was just exhausted, you know, and I knew my hell wasn't for me. Some people love their hell, but I knew it wasn't right for me. So May 24th of this year, my birthday, I called my dad up and I forgave him. Well, I told him that, you know, for me resenting him.
Yeah.
And I said it about 3 times, just I had to get it off my chest. My dad had me when he was 15 years old, and for a long time that did something to me because of his sin. A lot of stuff happened to me.
Yes.
You know, and it affected me and my marriage and my 4 kids and a divorce and all of that. And now that I'm 51 years old, it's like, you know, God works like he's a right now God.
Yes.
And he works right now in time right now. And then he just brought me through, you know, and, you know, let me know that I wasn't crazy for feeling the way that I was feeling.
Right.
And I had so much anger, Jesse. I thought I was going to explode. I was in that furnace. But he brought me out. Not a singe on me, no burns, nothing on me spiritually. And I just like want to tell, you know, like you say, you want to tell everybody, but some people love their hell. That's all they know.
Right.
And, you know, I forgave my dad. He told me he understand, you know, we are distant. I moved so far away because I was just looking for peace.
Yeah.
And like you say, I don't have to be around him. He's with a woman that is so evil, you know, and I wish them well. I done had 2 stepmoms in my lifetime. One had my best interest at heart, and, you know, she helped raise me. But this one came into my life in adulthood. And, you know, I just wish people well and everything like that. And I'm just, I got this guy, this friend I know, and I see something, and I was trying to, like you said, people don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
And he's in an incestual relationship with his mother and his sister, what you call spiritual incest. He's in a spiritual incestual relationship with his mother and his sister, and they got him, you know, where they want him. And I was trying to, you know, let him know that I see something that's not right. They Jezebel spirits, and they just got him where they want him, and they want him to be their man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
it's
there's
like
nothing you can do about it, Nicole. You just wish him well, because he may love that misery. He may love his hell.
I mean, when you spoke on that, I was like, that's it. I was like, oh my God. You know, the things that his mother did to him, you know, you just see it.
Yeah.
It's that spiritual stuff that, ooh, she passed her spirit on to him. And now it's the big sister and the mama, they get jealous of each other. He doing one for another. And it's sickening. It's sickening. And like you said, you cannot help people.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
I wish them well, and I'm going to stick with my journey because, like I said, God, he's a, like, right and snap your finger, God. He's right here, right now. And I'm still working on my thoughts. I called my brother. We lost a brother, and I didn't go to the wake, and I was just reaching out to my younger brother through text. I was like, hi, it was Memorial Day yesterday. Hi, I'm reaching out. His text respond, I don't have a sibling. And it was so dark. And I felt myself shake, and I just, no thought.
Right on. Amazing.
And I'm just amazing. Oh, Jesse, I told you I loved you before. I don't know you, but I love you, and I thank you for what you've done, your principles. And like I said, I started listening to you the first beginning of this year, and I came out of that hell. Woo! It's amazing.
Amazing.
It's amazing.
Nicole,
I'm going to stick with it.
Yes, stay with it. If you stay with it, I promise you, you haven't seen anything yet. It's just...
I'm ready.
I don't even know how to find the word. You haven't seen anything yet. So stay with it, all right?
I will, Justin. Thank you again.
You're welcome. Call me again.
All right. You have a blessing.
All right, you too. Amazing. You can overcome your hell, folks, or you can live in it. It's really up to you. God ain't going to try to make you. He warned you along the way. And he's okay if you stay. 888-7753-773. Super chat.
Super chats.
Bill Lockwood too smart, huh?
Indeed.
I mean, how can you get that smart? Man.
He's saying the stuff that I talk about on my show all day is not worthwhile.
I know.
The flat Earth versus
I totally agree with him with the flat Earth thing.
Yeah,
Even when I had that guy on the other day, I was thinking prior to interviewing him and even after, I was like, I'm so uninterested in the flat, whether the Earth is round or flat. I don't even know how people think about that.
Yep. Terrible.
Amazing. Go ahead.
Donnie Girl's idea says marijuana has been genetically modified to become physically addictive. That makes people do anything to get it. It has addictive properties now and should be avoided at all costs. New illnesses arise. I know what you mean. You can. It smells like it smells like it has roach poison in it or something. It's so awful the way it even smells. I don't know what's in it, but it doesn't smell right.
What the?
That's for sure. Thank you.
Cactus Eater Bear donated a diamond. JLP, how do you answer the question, who are you?
Thank you. By not answering, because there is no me. Thank you.
It's me, Xenia, with another Rumble rant. Get that Jesse doll a lasso. Yeehaw. Cowboy emoji.
What?
Get the Jesse doll a lasso. A lasso.
Oh. Amazing.
You're
Thank
looking over
you.
behind you.
Huh?
I point over there and you look behind you.
You point at this, y'all?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. Thank you.
Kid Combo 1.0 with a diamond. What should a woman do after 3 baby daddies? 3 baby daddies.
Go and find some new baby daddies.
Nice advice. You heard it here first, Kid Combo 1.0.
I don't understand that question.
Fair enough.
I don't quite understand the question, Kid Yumbo. What's his name?
Kid Combo 1.0.
Kid Combo 1.0. I don't understand the question, to be honest. Make it a little clearer for me, all right? Thank you.
Henry Ford lives with the diamond. Lockwood for president 2024. IPAC would be done.
Definitely vice president running with Donald Trump. And then the next 4 years or 3 years or 4 years, whatever, how long, make Bill Lockwood the president. It would be amazing. Thank you.
Henry Ford lives. Bill is on point. True American, not Israel first.
Amazing. Thank you.
Elijah, JLP, check out the such and such song.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
Thank you, Elijah.
Did you watch that movie yet? Come Home, Little Sheba?
I have not.
Hassan, you watched it, right? No, you didn't? Oh, okay. Thank you.
Bill Lockwood locks down the synagogue of Satan, says Henry Ford lives with a Another diamond.
I don't know what that means, but okay. Thank you.
Lil, a.k.a. Mother Teresa of employers, bought 5 coffees. Jesse, I have 5 siblings. I backed out of family years ago due to gossiping about me. Do I have to forgive them? ?
No, just don't resent them. They can't help it. That's their nature. It's in their hearts. And so you're now seeing what's in their hearts. And once you see what's in their heart, you better run because the heart is wicked. Amazing. Thank you.
Deus Intra bought a coffee. Go out and unite the tribes of America and give them the spirit of the cosmos, Jesse.
Okay. Whatever that is. Thank you, though.
Elijah says, grow up, Hake, and stop drinking Capri Suns. And it's me, Xenia, says, thank you, Jesse Lee Peterson and Hake. And shout out. Henry,
so you just read 2?
Right.
Thank you.
Henry, shout out to the top contributors on D-Live. Henry Ford Lives, Kin Combo 1.0, Eli Ja, Cactus Eater Bear, and the rest of the supporters over on the D-Live crew.
Thank you all. Amazing. Thank you.
And thank you, guys. I do believe that is all for now.
Amazing. Thank you all so much. I do appreciate it.
Oh, Elijah, I can't read tips. Send your tips to the producer. He's trying to give tips.
Oh, producer.
Like song tips and stuff.
Producer at JesseLeePeterson.com.
Yeah.
All right. Send it to my producer.
Yeah. Thank you. All right.
Oh, amazing. Thank you. Let me go to Charles out of Michigan. Charles, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Okay, Jesse, how you doing? Jesse, how's it go, Jesse?
All is well.
All is well. Yeah, it's your child, homeboy. Yeah, I just wanted to know about it. I appreciate your silent prayer. You keep me on track. You know, I stay on it morning, noon, and night. But during the private prayer, I seem to drift off in my thoughts quite a bit, and I have to come back so often. And I just have to remind myself to stay with the silent prayer. And I just have a problem staying within. I seem to drift back all down to the flat back in childhood when you're trying to. I know you say thoughts, they watch the thought pass by, but they just continue to come. My thoughts just seem to come in my prayer.
Well, Charles, now that you're aware of that, you're going to, because you've been living in them for so long and have identified with them, thinking that was you all your life.
Yeah.
When that happens, when you find yourself drifted out, just be aware, come back to yourself. Be aware of your body, your surrounding, and you're going to be fine. And even if you find yourself going in and out of 1,000 times a day, don't worry about it. Just be aware. And it's the awareness, which is the nature of God, that will destroy the darkness. It will take care of the thoughts for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, just be patient and stay with it. And don't worry about how often you go in and out. Eventually, you will not. You'll be done with it. It will happen, all right?
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Charles.
Okay, thanks, Francis. Talk to you later, yeah?
All right, man. 888-77... Oh, we out of time. 53773 out of time. The Hake Report is coming up now. TheHakeReport.com. And after the Hake Report, Joel Friday TV. He black. Joel Friday TV, he black. And then after Joel, the American Anchor, baby, at 12 noon. Get on the straight and narrow, folks, and stay there. The straight and narrow, and stay there no matter who fall apart from it, who disappear, whatever. You stay there. It's going to blow your mind. It's going to bless your mind. And blessings even, it's greater than a blessing. It's more than amazing, all right? Do the silent prayer. You got to go and forgive your mothers and grandmothers if you're affected by grandma, and your daddies, and before you can enter into the kingdom. It just ain't going to happen. I don't care how many Bible you read, or how much you think you're a Christian, or Muslim, or Catholic, or whatever. Muhammad Ali, or Allah, or Abba. You must forgive. All right. Thank you all for your support, the super chats and donations. I do appreciate it. Tomorrow's Manhood Hour, Hake is coming up now. Have a good day. Amazing show. Thank you. And Rick and the other callers, I am just out of time. I'll be back tomorrow. The Lord is willing. And the creek don't rise. Amazing! What the?
Something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause you must know thyself so you can. Something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way.
So, here's what I recommend. I invite you to download my silent prayer, and I want you to start doing it. You just download it, get the points of how to do it, and then after a while, you just do it on your own. It's going to point you in the right direction that your life will be returned to you from God. He will give you your life back, because anyone and all people who has anger, they're not themselves. You are the person that you are angry at. That's why it's so important to get to know yourself so that you can see who you're angry at. And if you're doing the hooping and hollering prayers and things like that, some people get up, oh, praise the Lord, hoop and holler, bless my mama, bless my daddy. Continue to do it. Do both. You will see if you want to stay with the hooping and hollering or do you want to be still and know God. So my gift to you, no charge, at rebuildingtheman.com/church. I noticed after a while that when these guys overcome their anger, they have amazing ideas about starting a business, but because they've been told that if you don't get a loan from the bank, or if you don't have a 5-year plan, or if you don't do this, and it's just simply not true, it's the first step. With faith, then all things are possible. So, but the most important thing is to return to the Father. That yearning that you have, that emptiness, that void, is not for more stuff. It's not for more friends. It is a return to the Father, because there's no way you can return to God and be angry at your earthly father. So thank you all so much, right? People around the world donated to Bond at rebuildingtheman.com, or they call 800-411-2663, and we're still committed to pointing the right way for men and women to return to the Father.